Oh my fucking God. Your lunch with Mary.
The Tape Never Lies Network.
The tape never lies. Tape never lies.
Starts now.
Tape never lies.
The tape never lies.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Here we go. Kyle's trading up.
100.
Yes! What? Oh my Here God. It is! Just recorded.
The tape never lies.
Other people drop off, but we still keep.
You'll never know how good your football team's going to be until you play with maximum effort. Keeping it 100.
An open competition over the North and never give it back.
Smartest man.
My Chicago Bears select Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. Dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man and Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keeping it 100, never running east to west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the freaking anchor, forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shane's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shane got some haters. But now them all stuck like the two and now and later. Debaters, frauds get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sacks scrolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shane. What we do when we're breaking down the Bears. Fuck a play or a captain, all of the unfair. The tape never lies. The truth, you see, we laugh, we analyze, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with the acumen and facts. We got a sad nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like Trick Sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man and Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Justin Fields gets outside the pocket, puts that ball perfectly where only Mooney can get it.
1 point.
2 feet.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keep it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Bears never lies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, this is Claudia the Barber, and this is TTNL's Keeping It 100, the best Bears show on the planet, bar none. Listen, another nice Bears win, but a nicer Panthers loss. The Bears are on the clock. Let's fucking go. But we got Green Bay week, we got Packer week, and the Bears play spoiler. Let's see. We're going to talk about that and much more with our guest, Dan Wiederer, Bears beat reporter. He's going to be on. So let's bring on the man, Shane.
Yo.
Oh, there he is. And we'll bring on Cherie. There she is. Hi, Cherie.
Let me get the comment off because go blue.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy. Enjoy it for those Huskies. Run over top of you.
Haters. Hurt people, Shane.
That's
you know
right.
that.
That's right. You'll be fine, though. Just thinking you get your new head coach next week. Lose the national title. You know, it'll be a good week for Michigan fans.
Wow. That's okay. I know
It's going to
you
be a
just
good game. It is going to be a good game, I think.
No, hey, I have no problem admitting the better team won. I'm not a shit talker that way.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, Shane, because
Yeah.
I'm not either. So you were
Yep.
very gracious in your communication. So
No, definitely. If you guys listen to me at all in the beginning of the year, I was not in on Alabama or Jalen Milroe. Jalen improved throughout the year, but Alabama, I don't think that they were. I wouldn't even have put them in the Final Four myself. But
you said that too. So
yep. So kind of is what it is, but we're not here for college football. Chicago Bears, though, a little bit of breaking news for people late to the news. Montez Sweat, Pro Bowler. So fuck you, Mike Lombardi, and your dumbass takes. Love to debate your ass on this show. And Jalen Johnson cashing in. Pro Bowl isn't what it used to be, but when it comes to contract negotiations, those things count and those things matter. And that's, hey, I got to give Jalen Johnson. I was anti-paying the guy heading into the season because I wanted to see more ball production, and he has completely transformed my thinking. And I think he is a must resign. He did exactly what we wanted. He put up and he showed out. So pay the man, get him, keep this secondary intact for years to come, and we'll see. But I
was just gonna say, a little surprise. DJ Moore got snubbed.
Oh yeah, 100%. But you know how that is with winning teams and things like that. That all matters in the Pro Bowl. But I kind of expected him to be snubbed. We know how that goes, but having two guys in at least is better than no guys. So I know our Pro Bowlers in the green room there staring at his keyboard, pretending like he's not listening, but I know he hears everything. Superstar down there. There he is.
Yeah. What the?
He was
the snub.
I thought you were cleaning up the TKO that you laid out on old Carmen earlier.
Oh no, that was fun with Adam Rank. Yeah, we got into a little debate on Coach Eberflus and Justin and the direction. I'm just not going to let the manipulation of the wins and who they're winning against be misconstrued in any way.
There go our YouTube comments already.
It is what it is. Obviously, you have a fiery fan base that, they want, bouquets of roses and everything. But
did you see the Pro Bowl? Sweat and Jalen made the Pro Bowl?
Yeah, Adam was breaking that there. And then you got DJ Moore not. And I think Sweat and DJ Moore, two trades that Poles made, have been the difference in a season.
Well, and I think you have to
ridiculous.
I think you have to give him credit for Jalen Johnson also, even though he didn't draft him. He held his feet to the fire and essentially told him, you go out there and we'll pay you. We want to see more. And I know Jalen, you got to give him just as much credit. But yeah, it's a big part of this, man. You're absolutely right, Phil. Two massive trades. And when is the last time that has happened for Chicago? Having two big time trades like that. Claude's getting food delivery over there.
Is he? Last time they had two big trades like that, Jay Cutler.
Yeah, well,
Jay's changed the dynamic to a perspective.
But
thank you, C Spags. I love Adam Rank and
I'm
wearing the sick podcast stuff. They're great over there. Carmen's great. I just don't agree with her take on Eberflus. I'm not going to let anybody.
Do you want to give her? Just share.
She's going to come on the. She's going to come on the show. I talked after the show. We're going to get her on. We'll see. It's not like she's going to be wrong. I don't think there is no weight to this Green Bay game. I think there's big weight in the Green Bay game for the head coach and the quarterback.
Oh, 100%. It 100% matters. It does, Phil. You can't go out there and be awful situationally.
Exactly.
Justin's got to go out there and he's got to continue playing well. And if he doesn't, it's 100%. There will be perspective changed amongst Bears fans based on one game, and this is what makes me laugh. And I'm not making fun of any specific fan, but a group of fans. 90% of people saw Roma Dunze play for the first time the other night, and now miraculously people are. And listen, he is fantastic.
That's what they do.
He's my wide receiver 3. That's fine. And the one analyst,
I've had him in my top.
Jacob Infante moved him up from
really
number 3 to number 2 based on the game the other night. And I'm like, come on,
you can't do that. He's been my number 2 since
you can't do it
November,
October. You can't do it on one game. But this is the thing. I mean, he also co-signed the Bears drafting 2 wide receivers in the top 10. And I'm like, what are we? Come on, man.
That's why I've never. I would like to talk to Jacob because a lot of these takes are just outrageous. I don't know how you flip-flop.
But Phil, can you imagine if we were live on air and Ryan Poles pulled the trigger on drafting 2 wide receivers in the top 10? That is franchise building malpractice.
That is fantasy football like.
Yeah, it's Madden. We
Exactly.
would lose our fucking minds.
It would be
You already
entertaining.
have DJ Moore.
Oh my God, Cherie. We would probably, the FCC or whoever the fuck would throw us off air.
I don't know how I'm backtracking that it's hard to win in the NFL. It's hard to lose when there's 0% chance of losing, and the Bears had. So shut the fuck up, Civius, and listen and understand what's being talked about at the big boys table.
This is
right now.
This is
you're
what we're
manipulating the truth,
and that's what's happening, Phil. People are more interested in trying to prove somebody wrong than improving their favorite football team, and this is the world that we live in today. Oh, I remember Phil saying Mac Jones' name and saying that you had him as the number 1 quarterback in the draft.
I didn't.
Exactly. It's not the truth.
It isn't even.
We
in
were
the
all Mac
vicinity of
Jones
truth.
fans here. You had him number 2, and I think Cars and I had him number 3 and had Justin Fields number 2. It was all
Simo at the time had him number 2.
Yeah.
So when he was here,
I know one person we were in unison on, and that was Zach Wilson.
Yeah, we all
nobody here liked him.
No one would pick him. We don't talk about that shit. We want to talk about and have narratives. I said it on the Sick podcast with Adam Rank. The coach is the problem here. The negligence with continuing with Getsy, who's trying to change his mechanics, who's trying to do what they want to do offensively, has affected the quarterback immensely here. You have to look at what Justin does well and build your offense around that. You can't build, this is what we do, Justin's got to fit in it. They tried to change his footwork, switch it as fucking, I don't even know what you're doing, switching his foot. All I know is Justin's mechanics. I've done these shows for 2 hours, sat down and showed you. I'm not making this up or cherry picking. And last week, I just played the whole offensive tape, just like I was a coach in college. Just showed you the tape. We're all in the locker room, and this is Justin, and it ain't good. And I could pull up I'm working on the tape as we're talking on the show because I didn't have enough time today.
Well, and that's
the reality of it.
You and I were talking today, and you can see a completion made, but it doesn't end there. When there's a completion for, let's just say there's a completion for 22 yards, but with proper ball placement, it could go for 60 and a touchdown.
Right. That's what fans don't want.
I don't know why. That's a big deal. People get mad about that.
I think they've never played the game of football. Those people that get mad, they're conveniently convenient. It's no shot at Jackal because he was in my office today at work saying that. Do you think, he's asking he's not being a dick. He's just, don't you think that he's playing better? I go, no, he's the same. There's much more talent here. So you got to make those plays, hit those shots when you're making them. And I just, I'm just being honest with it. I'm watching the tape. If Justin was lights out, and I would be the first guy going out there defending this mother. Just like I've admitted I was wrong about Darnell Mooney when he was coming out, and now Jervon Dexter, looking at Jervon Dexter and how much he's improved, better than I ever thought, especially he'd even be as a pro.
Phil, you've been harder than anybody on Cole Kmet, and you praised him. I should screenshot the text. You're like, bro, Kmet is balling out. That was the game that he ended up getting hurt.
Of course, he gets hurt.
Just real quick,
I can't praise him or get hurt.
Civius, the point is, yes, it is hard to win in the NFL. Literally everybody in the world knows that's got a brain. Phil did say that, and it's true. It doesn't mean within that game that you can't analyze good and bad amongst all players without bias. There's no bias. Anybody that gets upset if you break down a pass and say, oh, Justin didn't maintain his mechanics here, Justin held onto the ball too long, or Justin made a hell of a throw there, you're only hearing what you want to hear based on your love for Justin Fields. Just because you win, just because Justin played well, doesn't mean within that game itself that there's not negative plays from Justin. Tom Waddle talked about it last week. He's like, he was very, very impressed with Justin in this game versus Atlanta. And he said he needed it because Tom Waddle said he destroyed me with how he played in the second half versus Arizona. He said it made me sick.
Yeah, he played horrible.
But people
and I showed everybody that.
But people tape, are all
that's a patron. They know. Right. I have Kerry Franklin, who is one of our biggest supporters all the time. And he was a huge Justin Fields fan. But you're looking at the tape. It's not, oh, Phil's got – people are just so caught up in a fantasy fucking football world. It just –
right.
It baffles me.
Yeah, so locked and loaded, that's the thing. Why? Because there's going to be people that disagree. Chase Daniel sees things differently.
Didn't he come out?
Kurt Warner isn't on the same thing, isn't on the same wavelength and thought process that Chase Daniel is on Justin Fields.
I also will say this.
JT O'Sullivan, watch his latest breakdown.
Yeah, he says Justin's terrible, right?
Yeah, completely different. So it's people want to say that it's narrative and all of this nonsense.
The one thing you're not getting here,
we want what's best for the Bears, 100%.
We cheer for the jersey. You will never get a narrative here spoken. I go by the tape of it. I watch the game and I have my rants, as you guys know, after the game and emotion to it. I've been around this game a long time. I'm not saying I'm always right. No one is. You're not right. Open up your show. Go on there, put your name. Anybody could be Mr. Snugglepuss in the fucking YouTube comments. I want to see Mr. Snugglepuss's or T3P's podcast. I want to see you. Put your name to your analysis. We can go for hours on all the things I was right about, but if we can go for 30 minutes on the things I was wrong about, good. I'm doing it right. And if I have haters, I'm doing it even better. So I love you fucking haters, because 9 out of 10 of you are living in your mom's basement, playing your old SNES, trying to fucking win Mario Brothers for the 28th time in a record time, you fucking fat jackass. Why I didn't have to say that, you skinny ass jackass. How about that?
Either way.
You must have been at the top of your fucking class.
Mr. Snugglepuss.
And William, the point, if protection breaks down, yes, you can understand it.
No, we're not going on.
No. But what my point is, Phil, you've showed people on tape with proper protection.
Pocket
where there's a pocket
bending down, like
where
he's
5'11", going
5'11",
from 6'3" or 6'4" to 5'11" with a clean pocket. And then your rebuttal to that is going to be, well, there's nobody open. And that's bullshit because he showed you that too. And it's not listen, Justin's made a ton of plays where people didn't catch the football. That would have added to his production.
He had a great throw to Tyler Scott, who dropped it in the end zone.
Yeah. The one to
He had his best throw isn't the touchdown throw to DJ Moore. That's a good throw. The best throw, Mr. Snugglepuss, pay attention here. The best throw is an anticipation deep post to DJ Moore, where he anticipates it. I'll show you his mechanics. His footwork is sound. Over-the-top delivery. I'm like, who is this? This is the guy that you got to beat. And then the very next play, he's doing the same breakdown, the hitches, the processing. There's a dash pass that's so indicting. And nobody can debate me. Nobody. It's just, you can't debate it. Dash pass. The inside slot receiver runs an out. The outside runs off to open up the outside. The Bears, typical, run it to the short side of the field. What does that say to you? Think about this. If you know football, if you're running dash to the short side of the field, how quick should the ball come out? If you're going to the short side of the field, it should come out real quick. Because guess what? If you wait, what happens to an out on a dash? It gets to the sideline, to the defender. There you go. So if we wait. Oh, now we throw it. Guess what? He catches the ball, T3P, out of bounds. When the ball could be bumped, boom, snap and throw it. You see Penix Jr. just fucking dropping dime. Boom. Boom, ball comes out. Boom. Caleb Williams. Boom, ball comes out. Boom. That's where it is. There's no breakdown in mechanics. That's where you're betting it. All of this is a gamble. Justin Fields was a gamble. Mac Jones is a gamble. Trevor Lawrence is a gamble. Drew Brees was a gamble. They're all a fucking gamble till they get in the game and play the game on the NFL level, Snugglepuss. And that's the difference. It's the difference. And I can't wait to talk to Wiederer. I said it on Rank Show. I think it's a huge mistake keeping Matt Eberflus. Anybody's to blame, it's Matt Eberflus. But he didn't pick Justin Fields. Who's the negligent one then? Ted Phillips and George McCaskey. Will they do this shit again? Oh, we're going to stay the course. We're going to trade Justin Fields and keep Matt, get a new OC. You think they're going to do that? They're going to keep Justin, keep him? Right on the Patreon app, yes.
Yeah, just thetapeneverlies.com. Sign up. Everything is stored right there. You'll have access to it all.
Dan Wiederer's intro comes with a beat we can't use, so that sucks.
Yeah, that's fine.
I know, but I was just recognizing it. But the reality of the debates with a lot of these people don't know tape. They don't know football. They don't know how to. You could break down a quarterback all you want. Do you know how to break down the offensive line and the protection? Should Justin have slid the protection another way? Or was it Lucas Patrick's call where the protection goes? Because you're just allowing linebackers to walk into the backfield? That ain't part of the play call by Getsy. Is the lack of fundamental execution? Who is that on? Is that on Justin Fields or is it on the offensive line coach, the offensive coordinator?
Yeah, Matt, I saw that same report. The same guy came out like a year ago and started playing the same game. So I would dismiss what old Bob has to say, and I wouldn't take any of it serious. There's no way that he called a source in Hallis Hall when you're heading into the last week of the season and telling you what their plan and their blueprint is for the offseason and for the draft, even in terms of draft positioning and where you want to be and what you're scared of. It's 100% bullshit.
All these people start coming out now.
Yeah.
Banking on Bears fans and people.
What you realize is if you go down that thread that Bob put out there.
Who's Bob?
The guy that is claiming that he's got a source in Hallis Hall. He said, well, things can change rather quickly. So that's I'm going to give you this bullshit info, but just realize that things can change so I can cover my bases. So yeah, don't put any stock in that whatsoever.
Yeah, these sources and all that, I just laugh at it at this point. I'm sitting here, last night with Cherie and Chris Zorich, and Chris is going all in on Eberflus and the culture and the fucking club dub and cigars. You're not even going to the fucking playoffs. You're celebrating winning. They're manipulating a story. We've won 5. You haven't won 5 in a row. You haven't won 5 in a row.
5 in a row at home.
You won 5 in a row at home. It's a hell of a lot different story. The Bears haven't won 5 in a row since when? When's the last time? Claudio, look it up. When have the Bears won 5 in a row? What year? Was that the year Mike Brown picked off in Cleveland?
No.
Back-to-back wins. They won 5 in a row.
They must have did it in 2018.
You think they did?
Yeah, I think so. Because weren't they 13-3 that year?
They were. They may have. You're right.
Yeah, they had to have. But let's rip through some of these, Phil, before I know
let's
Stephen W says, hello, TTNL fan, DDP, Shane, who you got?
Who you got what?
I think he must be talking about the national title game.
I got Michigan, baby.
I'm taking Washington.
Let's go. Big Blue.
Just based on merit. I told Sheree it's going to be a bad week for her next week when she loses.
And I need you to be
loses
as
her
nice
coach
to
and her
me.
national title.
And I need you to be as nice to me as you was when Alabama lost.
I will.
I think 2012. Sorry, it was the last one.
2012.
Six games.
What was their streak in 2018?
Hold on, let me make sure. Let me make sure I'm not doing like last week and look it up.
Go back, do your job, and then come back in with an answer. He's still talking behind the scene.
Kentucky Bears fan, 1999. Thank you, sir. What do you think of Penix being Poles guy? Quick release, fast processor qualities. Poles likes based on Bajent. He also has great physical tools. Transferred and went through adversity. Common among Poles draft picks. Well, number one, first and foremost, before Claude gives us the answer here, with Penix is
Poles. We don't know what he likes.
Well, we don't know, but with Penix, everything is going to come down to his medicals. Two ACLs, and 2 shoulders.
Yes.
So that's 4 major injuries
and he's a lefty.
Massive hands, though. 11-inch hands.
Dude, that ball flicks out of his hand, boy.
Fantastic player, but a lot of it's going to come down to medicals, and he's an older prospect. So he's going to be playing.
What is he, 25? He's going to be 25?
I think he's 24 right now, but he's 4 years older than JJ McCarthy is.
Yeah, I think McCarthy should stay in school.
Me too. Yeah, he's a year. I totally agree. But you never know how that goes if they lose Harbaugh.
Well, Harbaugh is gone, according to Feinbaum.
Yeah. Yep.
Claudio, what do you got?
2018. You are correct. Yep.
2018. Shane was right.
It makes sense if you win
week 8 to week 12.
Nice.
There you go.
Perfect.
That was the year.
Updated his comment. Wait.
Oh, who you got in the
who you got in the draft?
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of months to get there. I mean, I know we're taking in the 5th round, Steven, but I'm not telling you.
I tell you, it's Caleb Williams for me at number 1. That's who we're taking in the draft.
Yeah.
If I was the GM, I'd be trading Justin Fields, getting what I can. Carm, you saw her, Shane. She said, talking to people around the league, scouts, GMs, they're looking at a 3rd round pick for Justin Fields. I said, no, I could see a 1. We had a little debate there. I go, if Sam Darnold got 2 2s and a 4, right?
No, Darnold was a 2, a 4, and a 6.
That's what he was?
Yeah.
2, a 4, and a 6. If he got a second round pick, a 4th round pick, Justin has got to be in that range or better. I even think, and Adam agreed with me, the Falcons and the fans and that win did more for his trade value there.
I think
people agree.
I think Pittsburgh's going to be heavily involved.
That's what push his price tag up. Is a team's competing with it. Then if you got 3 picks,
do you want to
address? And you're getting Caleb Williams, then that's big.
Do you want
to get my glasses unless you could read it.
Jared Perry says, Phil, knowing the huge return you could get for the number 1 pick, does that change things for you, or would you still rather draft Williams and not get this kind of draft capital plus a possible player?
I'm taking just Caleb Williams. Why? The reason why has been 40 years of waiting for that quarterback feeling that I had in 1995 with friend of the network, Eric Kramer, where I went into every game knowing I didn't really have to worry about our quarterback. It was going to be consistent. He was going to distribute and connect with the playmakers and make the plays on time, delivering the ball downfield on time, accurately, and move the change. Unfortunately, as Shane and a friend of the show, Dante Jones, will tell you, the defense didn't match up with the offensive production that year. You're looking at a Super Bowl caliber football team. The offense was able to carry us to the playoffs that year, but unfortunately we weren't able to go further than that, and everybody knows the story. A generational quarterback. I didn't say that about Bryce Young, didn't say it about Trevor Lawrence. I didn't say it about these guys. And sometimes I let it slip, as Shane says. I kind of like generational because I don't look at it like that. So I took a step back. I know Shane pointed out Rick Spielman, and I'm on that same boat. The last time I saw a quarterback this talented was Andrew Luck. And I believe Caleb Williams is a better prospect coming out of college. Accurate, athletic, mechanics are perfect. The release is perfect. It's Dan Marino-like. When you watch the tape of this kid, he's not going to miss these throws that I see Justin Field miss or be late on. So that's going to give you the opportunity that you want your offense to move and distribute the football down the field. You could be mad. You could be upset. I'm not sitting here saying, and people get upset, and Adam Rank, to his credit, articulated it perfectly. And I had to pause the show at one point because I'm like, no, I'm not saying Justin Fields is not good. He is good for an offense that is built around his ability to move the pocket, under center, power game, boot him out, get him in the gun, run the read option game with designed movement, because his pocket throws aren't where they need to be. And I have more than enough evidence to show you this, and the mechanics and the tap and the crouching down and the wind up delivery. You have a wide open DJ Moore on the first play of the game, right? To Shane's talking point. And Justin gets it there. DJ Moore has to turn and run all the way to the side. If he puts it in front of him, it's a touchdown. And it's not hard. It's not hard. You anticipate the throw, you allow the receiver to run under it, and you're scoring a touchdown. How many times have you seen Aaron Rodgers drop a ball? Danny Dimes in New York is putting balls in the field of play for his receiver to run under and continue to run. Justin Fields has a bad habit of falling away from the throw, and thus the ball tracks a certain way and carries out of bounds. I have more than enough evidence to show. Any patron could see it. And I go, this inconsistency isn't going to get fixed here. So with the money commitment as Shane has pointed out eloquently for weeks, making that decision and then investing in it.
It's 100%. And listen, and I was going to say this to Dan Wiederer. I shared this with Ryan Coxville. I told you about it today. This is going to come down to the M&Ms for Ryan Poles. It's going to come down to money with David Mulata and Justin Fields, and it's going to come down to maturity with Caleb Williams. That's what this is. Both players are wildly talented. Both players have their flaws that need to be fixed. That part is a known. Anybody can figure that part out and see on tape that Justin Fields is talented, that Caleb Williams is talented. It's going to come down to money. And people don't want to. Then there's going to be people that make shit up and say, you don't have to pay him for 3 years. That's not true. It's going to come down to financial expectations for Justin and his agent. And just like Josh Lucas said, the same thing that I said weeks ago, Mulata is not taking any hometown discount financially. It's not who he has been ever. Now, when it comes to the M with Caleb Williams, it's coming down to maturity. You have to be Ryan Poles and George McCaskey or whoever wants to sit down with this kid, and you have to believe in him that the want to, the work ethic, and the leadership is 100% there, and it's got to be believable. If you have questions on that, then it's a big problem. That to me, it's not coming.
Doesn't lie here.
It's not coming down to talent. It's not even coming down to the tape.
Carmen talked about it, talking to all these. I only could quote her.
Yeah.
She's obviously not lying, but she has done a huge amount of homework on Caleb Williams.
If you think that that's a blizzard, you must live in Hawaii.
Come on, bro.
Man. It's not
it
a
didn't
blizzard.
affect this fucking ball.
Jeez.
It was no fucking blizzard. And in fact, it's easier sometimes to throw in the snow. Yes, it is. But the reality is, it's on the tape. You see where Cherie, as a fan watching Justin Fields, where is Justin most likely not to throw on the football field?
In the center.
She's not watching my tape analysis every week, I don't think. Maybe you are.
Yes, I do.
Okay. I'm sorry. I should get a regular fan. My wife would say the same thing. She ain't watching, I'll tell you that. My bad, Cherie is watching. Snugglepuss is not watching, but you're 100% right. His biggest area of weakness is throwing to the center of the field. Why? Any person that knows exactly, Anthony, why is that? Because you have to anticipate those windows in the seam. It has to be, I know this guy's running the deep end. If this safety comes down, I'm hitting the tight end running through the seam because he's wide open. There's a play in this game. Justin doesn't even look. And there's a guy 40 yards wide open. But he completed a pass to number 18, Tunyon.
He can't throw into windows and anticipate. That's not true. He can. He doesn't do it consistently. Right. And there's a big difference. But I do want to address this with Vince. You can't compare a guy that's got 37 games of tape in the NFL to the situation where Love took the money and Mulata took the money. They had no idea if he could play. He hadn't played in 3 years. This is year 4 for him. Of course they're going to take them. Mulata could have been sitting back and said, bro, you don't take this fucking money. You ain't getting it anywhere else. We got to take this. Justin's got, this is year 3. He's got, 39 games or whatever it is on tape. There's a big difference there. Mulata's, if you guys think that he's going to take less money than what Daniel Jones signed for, there's not a fucking chance in hell.
You could do 130 chance for Justin Fields. He ain't doing it.
And I'm not gonna lie, this is what drives me crazy about fans is they always go to one play that he
And
had
about,
that was
and it's
good.
about consistency.
So we
right.
said he can't throw in the middle. This guy Jamal brings up the one time he did. You know,
right?
It's a consistently missing the open man down the seam, as Anthony Gordon is saying. I'm not here to make this shit up. If Justin Fields was amazing and people had doubts, I would show the amazing to put away the doubts. That's what this network stands for.
Yeah. Vince, if you're not, if Poles isn't sold on him, 100% no. That's not the way. You have to believe if you're breaking down Caleb Williams and you sit down with this kid, you have to be positive when you come out of those meetings, when everything is wrapped up with a pretty little bow, that this kid is going to lead us to Super Bowls and to lead us to consistent big time quarterback play in the future. You have to be sold on that. You can't come away and say, oh, well, maybe no. Then that's what happens when you draft Mitch Trubisky at number 2 overall. That's what happens. But let me ask you guys this, because this is what I always find funny with the people that have drawn their line in the sands with this. Because there's the Justin Fields camp, and then there's the Caleb camp. But then everybody's like, all right, well, you have to take the haul that you would get for Caleb Williams, and then you have to let Ryan Poles cook. Imagine what Ryan Poles could do with all those extra assets. He would build us the best team ever. He's legit. He knows what he's doing. Give him that ammo. But what if Ryan Poles comes away and says, Caleb Williams is my quarterback and I believe in him? All of those people that are saying let Ryan Poles cook are going to be like, yep, you're a fucking idiot. No, we don't believe in Ryan Poles. Ship this dude. That's the way that it shifts for everybody on a whim. And it makes no sense. Let him cook with all this ammo because we believe in you. You're gonna bring in all these players that are amazing because you know what you're doing. Oh, you want to pick your quarterback? You want to draft Caleb Williams? You're a fucking moron. You don't know what you're doing. So you're playing both sides of the fucking fence. And that's bullshit.
I'm just putting together the tape for later tonight if we want to use it, Shane.
Yeah, and you're not going to lose the locker room. Listen, everybody said that the Bears were going to rue the day and lose the locker room with Roquan Smith.
I wish this was a super chat question. I wish it was, because someone should delete Brian Briggs and put it as a super chat so I can answer this.
You can still answer it, Phil.
Yeah.
You won't lose the locker room if Justin Fields is traded. Oh, he's saying exactly what I was going to say. I thought he was on the opposite end.
No.
That whole talk, people are going to shut the fuck up. That is no one's going to want to play if they leave Justin Fields. Justin Fields might want to leave. You don't know. And number 2, is Justin giving a fuck about you when you're looking in the mirror? I'm talking about his teammate. Everybody is worried about their families as they should be. They want to win.
And then if you win, guess what?
Caleb Williams comes in.
Then you get paid.
Guess what?
It happens.
Caleb Williams comes in, forms an immediate bond with Tyler Scott and Cole Kmet. Opening that game next year, rookie quarterback Caleb Williams, number 13. Crowd is there. Troy Aikman and Buck on Monday Night Football. They put it all on the Bears. Fucking goes out there, lights it up. 4 tutties, 2 to Tyler Scott. You think, man, I can't catch his ball. I miss Justin. No, this shit don't happen. Stop playing that dumb game with the media. It's dumb. Whatever Poles does, yeah, because everybody's split, Joseph. That's where they are right now. They're split. They're split down the middle in frustration. Just like T3P. He could talk shit, but he certainly wouldn't click the link to come on here with Shane and Phil.
Click the link. You wouldn't even show up in the DM. He's got the number 16 podcast in Singapore. That dude's living the fucking life.
Well, the only thing we're playing for this season is to knock Green Bay out. So I don't know what that is. Maybe they'll have a cigar if they lose to Green Bay because they had a great effort. They almost won. That's where this fan base is. Guess what? If we had a real coach, we'd be fucking playing for the fucking division. With those 4 epic losses.
It's true.
Yeah.
You think, yeah, I'm 100% right. Yeah, you'd be playing for the fucking division. The coach has cost you. Justin is a byproduct of negligence, coaching malpractice. They didn't want to build their offense around him. Those people that misconstrue what Shane and myself, and honestly, I don't know where Cars stands on this, but I know he brings a lot of stats and facts.
Cars is 100% all in on drafting Caleb Williams.
So there we go. He should be on Keeping It 100 at least once this month.
And he is a huge Penix fan.
Good.
And he was having a little bit of fun when we had our guy.
I'm a
Matt
big
Waldman
fan. I love those.
Oh, listen,
I don't want to go crazy in the draft.
Yeah.
We're going to be breaking down the draft like nobody else. I got to shout out my guy, Chris Harold,
the man,
for the game tapes that he sent. I already have 4 quarterbacks in the hopper. Caleb, Jaden, Derek May, Penix Jr., all ready to rock and roll. And Cherie, guess what I got for Christmas from Chris Harold?
What?
Yes. Just take a guess. Chicago related. Something I always love. Shane, you could guess.
A T-shirt from Baby Gap that you would have worked. Oh wait, is that real?
A bobblehead? A Walter Payton bobblehead?
I have one of those over here. Let me go get it.
I don't.
He sent me Garrett's popcorn, bro.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god. I don't even know.
Thinking Bears.
Knows.
You don't even want to know the last. You don't even want to know the last person I got that from. You probably know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Chris Harold, for the Garrett. I haven't opened it yet.
Yes. If he checks out medically, he's a first rounder.
He is definitely a first round talent. Zorich and I have been, and with Cherie, have been talking about him all season long. You can't deny what he continues to do. Al Davis is alive in spirit watching Penix as he throws the deep ball down the field. I mean, he's throwing dimes, and that's the difference here. And hopefully this tape will get put into the hopper, and I can have it ready, and we can look at it when our guy comes on the show. It's not there yet. Let me put it as a favorite. But again, a lot of people talk that talk and manipulate truth. So it's very important that you pay attention who you're following, who you're listening to, who you're debating with. I think people hold on to the wow plays he makes. They hear the media complain about Getsy and latch on to that as well. He's the definition of inconsistent, man. If I had a T-shirt to give you, bro, that would be the perfect
That was one of
summation.
Kurt Warner's thing. He said, you can't live in the wows. You have to be consistent everywhere else with the wow plays that'll come along every once in a while. We get that. You can't just live in the wows. And that, guys, this isn't us bagging on Justin Fields. We're called the Tape Never Lies Network. This is what we do. You think that we want to bag on a kid for a fucking narrative because we're so sick of losing here? No, we want to be a consistent winner. What good does it do us to make up bullshit about a quarterback? For what?
Especially one on our team that we already have with 2 first-round picks. You think I wouldn't want to continue to build? That would be the way I would go. But if you own the first pick in the NFL draft, what the frig? Oh, yeah, that's right. This fucking phone is a different.
I'm lost. What about you, Cherie?
I have no idea what
you own the first pick in the draft. I'm sorry, I forgot the iPhone 15 has the
the USB-C. Mm-hmm.
The USB-C. So I was I go, why isn't this fitting? Is something in there?
So Ninos, let me ask you this: consistency comes with coaching and pass catchers that can pass catch. So what part of consistency comes with Where does the quarterback fit into that? Because this is another thing that I see all of the time.
So nothing.
Everybody that is
Nothing.
pro Justin Fields, the issues are literally everywhere else. Tony Medlin didn't keep him warm enough on the sideline. It was a fucking blizzard out there. Or come on, Justin Fields has warts that are on Justin Fields. When there's a guy wide open, throw him the football. We're not the only people saying that, but people want to get fired up about it. Justin has made amazing plays along the way. It's all about consistency, and where you're getting to the point now is where money is going to come into it. Oh, yeah, and you have the first pick in the draft. Now, there's people in there saying that Caleb Williams isn't a leader, that he's somebody called him a diva. Okay, all right. Show me. Maybe you know him personally, because I don't. I know somebody that I've talked to that knows, that has vouched for the kid 100% as a leader. We'll see. It'll all come out. It's going to all come out.
I know
don't want to see fan
everyone
bullshit.
I've talked to has said Caleb Williams is the opposite of what he's being portrayed. He never said anything about owning a team. These are all made up things for teams that really want this kid on their team.
How many did Peyton Manning? Guess what Tennessee did the year after Peyton Manning left? They won the national title with T. Martin.
He never played in the national.
Did Patrick Mahomes?
No.
Patrick Mahomes never won the Heisman. Fuck that. I mean, come on. Please.
I want to address this other thing that I saw. Aside from us destroying the Notre Dame bullshit, 3 interceptions, explain though. Well, he had 5 on the season. Or 6, was it? 5. The reality is you don't scout a guy in one game. And if you watch that game and watch the freaking fourth quarter performance he puts on, you'll understand a battler that's fighting adversity. And that would be a check mark in the box of somebody scouting and recognizing the intangible competitive drive that a player has to bring his teammates on his back. Then you got this, oh, they were excited. That was a fucking exhibition game USC was playing. If you're putting any stock in Louisville, USC, with all these people transfer portals and out, and oh, look at his numbers versus, you are absolutely a troll. You are you're a fantasy football guru on Sunday morning with your waiver claim. You're amazing, but you ain't doing it on regards to a quarterback playing in college football or going to the NFL. It's a travesty. We have these voices out there. I thought it was bad with Colin Kaepernick and Skip Bayless, but now there was a great, have you ever seen the morning show on exactly Leonidas? You get it, bro. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Snagglepuss again. Right, Acevedo? Never go in the gun to get one. The Bears do it consistently, and they fail consistently, right? Acevedo, our patrons are making their own T-shirts because he's dropping the ball. But what I was going to, have you ever seen the morning show on Apple Plus? Do you have Apple Plus, Shane?
Yeah. I know.
You gotta start. This show is so good.
I just started rewatching The Sopranos, and Cherie made fun of me.
Yeah, let's start a new show now. Start the morning show. I think you'll love it. But there's a quote in there that one of the guys, DG, he's 100% right. It's one of the best written shows on TV. It's so good. And I'm paraphrasing the quote. I wish I wrote it down. But she's talking, it's Jennifer Aniston's character, and she's talking about the responsibility. We're a broadcast network. Twitter is just there's a place for it, but it ain't a broadcast. They're just spitballing ideas out there. You have a responsibility as a broadcaster, like we do, and we take this responsibility to the highest of levels of integrity. You have a responsibility to do all the checks before you have an opinion. Like, I can't do BHL's rant and not watch the Bears game. My rant is my opinion based on what I saw. So we understand where that is. When I go on this show, I'm broadcasting to the world.
Phil, are we really talking about the morning show? I mean, you've devoted at least 45 seconds into this 1 hour show already to talking about the morning show. You son of a bitch.
I can't believe I can't talk about something that somebody will get a lot from. Of course, Brandon. What would you like us to talk about for the 100th time? Caleb Williams and why I think he's better than Justin Fields. It's become a ridiculous showcase of this franchise and these people. Fact is, no one knows at this point. Poles is going to evaluate every option. It's what any good GM would do. Chris, totally agree. All this stuff in the room, I thought they made a decision on Eberflus a while ago. And I really think there's some weight because they like the guy. What happens with the Packers game?
I will say this.
Go ahead.
I will be stunned if he's fired.
It's sad. Sad. What if they get 35-3? Packers beat the Bears. You see them selling that to the fan base that Monday?
Can I see the Bears selling it? Yeah. Because we've seen it before.
I won't even fucking. I can't even
collaboration.
I'm gonna take a fucking 2-week break.
I think Phil, that quote that I sent you today from Matt Eberflus, a head coach is not talking about that unless he knows he's back.
I think this guy is so dumb. Like, he lists the positives no matter. He's Mr. Rogers.
That's just who he is. I don't think he's dumb. I think he's a smart guy. I think he's very calculated.
Okay. I'll rephrase it, Your Honor. I think he's football coach dumb. He always is talking positives.
It's
and
just like with
situationally,
he
sucks.
He's very, very poor. 100%. Totally.
And I think situations like post game of epic losses, you don't come out here listing how well you played in the third quarter. It's just,
and so
I can't deal with another season like that. Claudio for Wayne, then Shane's question.
Yeah.
When was the last time the Bears swept the Packers?
That's what I'm looking up now, trying to find it.
I put it up for Claudio. Thank you, Wayne Bender. My God, $2 from Wayne Bender. Shane, what were you?
No, we didn't sweep him in 06 because we got boat raced the last game of the year. That year, I remember.
That's always fun to get.
That was the Bears' first. That was their first Navy on Navy game.
Oh my God, I love the Navy on Navy until that game. I can't. Shane, you and I have been down this road many times. Bears versus Packers. Packers take this game.
I have zero.
You're our little brother. You pieces of shit. You suck. We don't care about you. You're nothing to us.
I just don't know.
Talk about it like it's just another game.
What possibly would give anybody confidence that the Bears are just going to miraculously show up to Lambeau and punch Green Bay? I mean, other than being a fanboy or just a plain dumbass at this point, we've been down this road before 100 times. 100 times.
Agree.
Go up there and prove it, and then I'll believe it. Because right now, they've given me. I don't care if the defense is on an uptick. Go up there and do it. Go up there and do it.
Taylor Heineke.
Right.
They beat the big ones, Shane. Anyway, I see our guy in the green room sucking down the protein shakes that we've sent over.
Oh my fucking God. Your lunch with Mary.
Yes, we're excited right now. Our guest for tonight, you know him. We love him. We've grown to love him. He's not a wet blanket. We can't play his intro that we produced because the music will get us copyright claimed. So we have to go off the cuff. You know him from the Chicago Tribune. Some people hate Dan's real talk. But what better place to get real than on TTNL's Keepin' It 100? And every time he comes on the show, that's exactly what he does. From the Chicago Tribune, let's bring him out. Mr. Dan Wiederer. There he is. What's up, Dan?
Fellas, Happy New Year. How are you?
The life of a Bears fan, Dan. How do you think we're doing?
Yeah, you should be doing better than most of the times that we've talked. Things are pointing in the right direction.
They are, but we also, I don't know. I think you probably know where I'm going with this. This is also the Bears and just doing what you do. Let's just start off this way. Yeah. Where's your confidence level that this is going to go right for Chicago and Lambeau
on Sunday?
I'm not picking them. I'm not picking Chicago.
I had to go on my regular WGN spot this afternoon, and I still picked the Packers. I reserve the right to change before we get to Friday, but I do think that there have been so many positive signs over the last 2 months that give you legitimate hope that we're not just grasping and hoping and pulling at things to conjure up the optimism. This team is playing really, really well on defense. They've got some things coming together on the offensive side of the ball. Now, some huge big picture questions, obviously coming up real soon next week and beyond. But look, like they should be able to compete in this game on Sunday. They should be able to win it. I think we're all just taking the see it to believe it approach with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Yeah. But like I was talking to some guys today in the locker room at House Hall about the value for a team like this of playing a big stage, big moment game like this. You got nothing left in your season, but this is an experience to like take with you into 2024. And I love it because this could have been a week 18 fart, like 7 or 8 weeks ago, we thought neither of these teams would have anything going for them and it would just be, fart sound. And now we've got a game that we're all probably pretty intrigued by.
Dan, you look at this coach and what he's done, obviously, I'll just say where I am with him, ready to move on from him. I'm not getting fooled by the wins. Yeah. I'm looking at the epic losses, 5 of them, 4 franchise record losses by this coach. The culture of the club dub and smoking cigars after winning a game against the Falcons that really did nothing for you this season leaves a weird taste in my mouth and a lot of the veteran Bear players that I've talked to and coaches. Like, what are they doing there? What is your take on the culture and the coach of the Chicago Bears and that whole club dub thing that obviously continues from Nagy now again?
Well, so let's start with Sunday's win and the cloud of cigar smoke that was hanging in that locker room when we walked in after the game. I'm usually with you. I'm usually rolling my eyes pretty hard and saying, what exactly are we celebrating? You're 7-9. Like let's keep proper perspective. This one felt a little different to me. Number one, just because it was New Year's Eve, and I felt like there was a kind of a festive holiday spirit to the whole thing. I'm like, hey, we're putting the bow on a year that had a lot of turbulence and a lot of turmoil, and we finished it on a high note, and we should all be so lucky, right, to finish our years on a high note. And so I cut them a little slack on that one with the understanding that they better be carrying that same perspective, that they have not achieved anything. They have not accomplished anything. The common problem with this organization for the entire time that I've covered them is setting the bar too low and then acting like something happened when you clear a low bar. This can't be that. It just can't be. Cole Kmet said, I thought the cigar smoke was a little much, but then went on to say that this is the first time really maybe in his entire career with the Bears where he feels a legitimate team starting to emerge. And I think there's meaning to that and some significance to that, to those guys that know they're going to be part of that core, that know that core is legit now for the first time in a while. And so, look, like you want to light up more cigars, then go beat the Packers on Sunday at Lambeau Field. If they get beat by double digits up there, this season ends on a really sour note. If they win the football game, it ends on a pretty high note with 6 wins in the last 8 games and a belief that you can then go and compete in 2024. So that's why this game on Sunday is cool, because it's just that it can swing the pendulum pretty significantly.
Exactly.
So Dan, obviously beyond that, the next big question is quarterback, and
yes,
Bears getting the number 1 pick, and Phil and I are on the same wavelength, and I understand you see the uptick in Justin that we've been, I don't want to say that we've been waiting for, but still there's inconsistencies there that you're breaking down the tape, we're breaking down the tape.
Yeah.
We all see it.
Yeah.
I've come to the conclusion myself that really this is going to come down to the M&Ms. That's what I call it. It's going to come down to money versus maturity in the Caleb Williams versus Justin Fields debate.
Okay. Yeah.
Money with David Mulata and Justin Fields, their financial expectations versus the maturity of Caleb Williams. Both guys are wildly talented. Both guys have their warts at quarterback play. And I think everybody knows that. I think Ryan Poles, Ian Cunningham, everybody knows that. I think it can be as simple as Ryan Poles sitting down and letting Caleb Williams and his agent and everybody involved show them that he's going to be believable as a leader. Does this matter to him? Somebody made the comment, is he more interested in Heisman's or is he more interested in Super Bowls? And that's a big deal. And with Justin, how can we overlook he's not going to take less money than Daniel Jones got in a contract if you're moving forward? So where do you kind of like, because this, I mean, you deal with it as much as
yeah,
it's volatile. I mean, people are dug in, and I mean, it's crazy. But
Shane, the volatility to me is unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Ever.
I have never seen anything like this. My theory on this, one of my theories on this, is that we've changed social media to the extent where things that you might not otherwise have been exposed to are now being brought to your doorstep. It's ringing your doorbell with guys with blue check marks that are somewhere that I've never heard of and making strong statements, and then everybody reacting to them like it's the declaration of the end of the world or the start of a new universe. And it's just like it just every day it gets crazier on there. And it's like you literally have to take a deep breath in the morning, one at lunchtime and one at night, and go, okay, this is a different sphere of things, because I do have rational conversations about this with casual Bears fans who aren't screaming at me on Twitter or doing things like I think the social media toxicity of this whole thing has gotten out of hand. And I was joking with someone yesterday, at least we only have 3.5 more months to go through this. I mean, like, there's a long period here for this Caleb versus Justin debate. My feed already is that now the national shows are making this the centerpiece of everything they talk about again every day, and we're going to deal with that for multiple months, and it's going to get exhausting really quickly. I think Ryan Poles has an obligation to step back when the season ends, look through a fair lens, to take a sober approach to this and make the best decision for the long-term future of the Bears. I think where people get caught in this riddle that the Bears face is thinking that, oh, well, this team's ready to win now. You can't afford to just suddenly pull the plug on a quarterback who's showing growth. They're ready to win now. Well, I've been consistent now for 3-4 weeks and saying, like, the goal is not to be good in 2024. It's to be good for 8 of the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And so you have to choose the path that gets you there. Now, look, the Caleb Williams thing, like, everything I know about Caleb Williams is from people in the league that I've talked to. I haven't done any of my own homework in terms of watching him or going through that process yet. But you do hear things from people within the league about just how impressive the skill set is. Mm-hmm. How on day one he will come in with feel in the pocket that we are applauding Justin for reaching, at the end of season 3. And it's like, okay, you're not going to have to go through a 3-year,
and not even consistently.
Right. You're not going to have to go through a 3-year process to have a guy where you just give him what I've called parental pats on the head. Good job, buddy. Way to be good in the pocket. Like it's going to be like, okay, this guy legitimately feels the game and he can operate in there. The consensus in the league right now is that, so I'll give you guys a tease here. Tomorrow morning, Thursday morning on ChicagoTribune.com, I've got a long 15 chapter deep dive on what people in the league are saying about the Bears quarterback situation, about Justin, about Caleb, about what their options are going one way or another. One of those chapters is about the Caleb Williams tape evaluation being something that everyone in the league will be done with in 4 hours and go, okay, seen everything I need to see. It's there. NFL stardom potential all over the tape. Yes, he's not perfect. Yes, there are flaws. Yes, this is not a can't miss situation, but tape homework assignment done. Great. I've cleared out more of my winter and spring to now go dig into the wiring. And the vetting process of Caleb Williams' wiring will be everything to teams in the league
100%.
and trying to figure out. I think you said Heisman's or Super Bowls. I had former AFC offensive coordinator say, are you coming in from day one hoping to advance yourself as a football player, or are you in this for celebrity? Are you in this for stardom? Are you in this for those things? Because that's going to be a non-starter for some teams that will see all that talent, but say, man, we need full investment from day one.
You
and
see his pinned tweet, right, on his Twitter feed?
I have not. What
it says, I'm a businessman. No, I'm a business man. That's Caleb Williams' pinned tweet on there.
You got to ask him about that,
but
right?
you got to talk to him, because that could mean two different things.
Yeah, right. You
got football is a business,
right?
Every single person I've talked to about Caleb Williams, unsolicited, has brought up Carl Williams, his dad, who is apparently very involved and has, when he got to Southern Cal, set up a marketing plan for him. NIL is a new thing, in that world, and they were ready for it and they capitalized on it, and God bless him. Nobody says 100%.
He's a good actor, Dan, on those Dr. Pepper commercial.
Yeah.
He's good.
And so the guy I was just talking about, the former coordinator said, I would make a rule if I were in charge of the organization and say no commercials until year 3. Let's just go dive into this. Let's go be a football player. Let's go lift the organization. And if you do that, particularly in Chicago, the entire world's going to come to you in 24 months and you're going to own the world. Right. And then go do the Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce thing, go get a ring, go play in the Super Bowl, win a few division championships, and then just live it. But until then, understand what playing quarterback in the NFL requires, understand what these people in your locker room expect of you on a daily basis. And that's a big challenge. That's the other part of this homework process, is how do these kids that are fresh out of college lead grown men? And you've got to go in there and figure that out. The other thing that this will be in my piece tomorrow is somebody said to me, there are two kinds of alphas. There's alphas that are alphas because their personalities are alphas, and there's alphas that are alphas because they were the best player on their college team. And you've got to go figure that out. Yeah. Talk to the kid, talk to everyone that's been around him at Southern Cal, at Oklahoma, at his high school in Washington, D.C., and figure out what he's made of and what that DNA is. And you got to answer that question, because this is a decision that will shape the direction of your franchise for a decade or longer. We've talked about it before with the missteps they've made in previous quarterback drafts. You cannot take it for granted. And I'm hopeful that Ryan Poles, with the oversight and guidance of Kevin Warren, will sidestep the banana peels that have sent the Bears spiraling out of control in other situations.
You've said a lot there.
At least he doesn't drive a Camry. That's one good thing, right?
It depends. How much is Toyota offering for the endorsement?
But let me get back to the coach, then the quarterback again.
Yeah. Sorry. We glossed over the coach.
Yeah. It's okay. The Eberflus thing, for me, I don't think he's the head coach. I think that the epic losses and failures, had you been a good coach situationally, you'd be fighting for the division. But instead, you've lost 14 straight. Don't give me this shit about tanking and this, that, and the other.
Thank you.
You can't go that route and excuse that stuff. This is a losing culture. You lose, you lost, and then you won with a backup quarterback. Then you heard Chris Collinsworth's comments towards Tyson Bagent taking shots. He got that from the coaches. So there's a disconnect there. Justin comes in. The culture, the coach, for me, with the losses and this big game, as none of us saw happening here. What are your thoughts with keeping this guy?
I always say that the NFL is a tightrope. It's a high wire act to get from one platform to the next to make the playoffs. And one simple misstep, and you're not in the playoffs. You're in the safety net at the bottom, looking up, going, "That looks cool," And
Right.
the Bears took one step on the tightrope this season and just free falled right off the tightrope.
Right.
They were 0-4, and we all say, okay, they're finishing strong, and they have a chance to go 6-2 in the last 8 games of the season. Well, all you had to do was win 1 or 2 more games in September and October, and now everything is different. The entire situation is different, and so you don't get the free pass of like just throw out weeks 1 through 4. No, weeks 1 through 4 were a real thing, and included in weeks 1 through 4 was the abrupt exit of your defensive coordinator that then required you to use energy to go take his responsibilities and then redistribute your responsibilities in a way that made everything start to hum again. Now, credit Matt Eberflus for getting this thing on track, for turning this defense into a defense that we all enjoy watching now and is truly good in every phase and playing well at all 3 levels. And you say, okay, like, cool, that's good. They lose a running backs coach in week 9 who had to be let go from the building. Well, okay, that required time and energy to shore up. So all of these things are part of the evaluation. They have to be. The other part of this is I listen, like I get varying responses on this from people around the league in terms of, do you have to marry up your decision on the quarterback with your decision at head coach? And there's a lot of people that say yes, that if you're going to
They've never done it, Dan.
Yeah, if you're going to pivot in a new direction, you have to set that up with a clear, crystallized vision for development for the quarterback. And so how is Matt going to oversee that? He better communicate that if he wants that luxury or that opportunity to continue on down that path, whether it's Justin or someone else. Like, we need to know in 2024, what's the vision for developing the quarterback. So that's got to be part of all this. You're not, if you stick with Matt, I think you probably have to give at least the appearance and the assurance of it's not just a win or else year, because that was the disaster in 21. Or
that's what it's going to be, though. That's what it's
like,
going to be, man.
That's what scares people around the league, is like you just did that. You screwed up the first year of Justin Fields' career because you paired him with a general manager and a head coach who understandably wanted to start Andy Dalton because it was their way to keep their jobs. They didn't err in that situation. And so, yeah, I mean, so that's another factor with the coach. Look, like I've said for a while now, that I'm as fascinated by the decisions that the Bears are going to make in the next few weeks as I am by the explanations that they give us for the decisions that they did make, because they're going to have to explain it, all of them.
The explanations are almost the scariest part.
Dan,
this organization.
They don't. He comes out in an epic loss and lists the positives in it. You're the only fucking hope for us sometimes to counter back. I shouldn't say you're the only one, but you do tend to counter back to reality. Like, answer the reality. You just epically failed against the Broncos. You're up 28-7. There's a 0.1 chance of you losing. You lost. You did that 3 times this year. 3. And that we're going to just gloss over these things. Those 3 wins equals the division.
The Browns.
Just that's. I mean, the guy off of diaper changes a couple weeks ago comes in here against your vaunted defense in the 4th quarter.
That one's as gutting as I know. It's just that one was as gutting as it gets, and I
with everything at stake. Yeah,
I compared it to the locker room after the double doink game in terms of the way that guys were like. It felt like they had been hit in the stomach with an anvil. It just you just saw them trying to come to grips with the idea that, oh my God, I cannot believe that just happened. Particularly the guys on the defense that played really well for 53 minutes. And then the last 6 or 7. It got away from them, and that's terrible. And and then you leave that locker room and you go into Matt's press post game press conference opening statement is, I told the guys in there that we're going to go back, and you're like, well, wait a second. I don't know if that's the message that this group needs in this moment right now. Like, focus on the fundamentals of the individual position. They're gutted. Like, they need someone to pick them up right now. And it just kind of felt like a head coach AI speech that was given in that moment. And so, there is some clumsiness to that has to be taken into account.
And the quarterbacks that the Bears have won that Shane has pointed out, Shane, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not an
Josh
impressive list.
Dobbs, Bryce Young, Taylor Heineke,
Sam Howell,
Brian Hoyer.
Right.
They have not. The best quarterback they've beaten, arguably, is
Jared
Goff.
Yeah, Jared Goff for sure.
Or Kyler Murray, if you want to go there. But he's been up and down and what have you. Who knows what the future is him?
Best
Right?
quarterbacks and best teams, and that's why I had a source tell me over the weekend that he said it's a bifurcated league, and I had to immediately go to Google and look up what bifurcated mean because I didn't know what it was. And he said, look, I'll put it in simpler terms. There's an A league and a B league. And so there's like 8 to 10 teams that are in the A league. And then there's a bunch of teams in the B league. And if you get all your wins from the B league, then you have to ask yourself what it's going to take to become an A league team. I went one further and said, I think there's a C league, 4 or 5 teams. Obviously the Panthers are one of those.
Damn right.
The Bears benefited this year from playing the NFC South. They had a last place schedule with their other 3 division games that they're playing against, the Browns, and obviously the Browns were good at this point, but the Cardinals were part of that mix. The Commanders were part of that mix. And so you played an easy schedule this year, and the degree of difficulty is going to go up as you continue your climb. You better have a team that's able to get there, and a coaching staff that's, allows its team to thrive in those game on the line moments that we've seen get away from.
Dan, when we get back into the quarterback, how much do you think, like I said, the M&Ms, the money with Justin Fields, how much of that do you think is going to be a factor? I mean, for your franchise moving forward when you're talking about it? I know you got the 5th-year option you got to pick up, I believe it's May 2nd, 2024. Yeah. That's around $23.31 million, I believe is the number. But also at the same time, agent like Mulata isn't going to want his guy playing on a 1-year deal at any point. So it just, to me, it's so interesting. And that's what it comes down to. You get that the people that you talk to in the league, is that something that they've referred to as the resetting the financial clock and the importance of that? Or is it just more so with the cleaning the deck with the, new head coach, new quarterback?
Well, so there's 2 things here. And first and foremost, there's this perception that if the Bears drafted a quarterback at number 1, they'd be giving up this haul that they'd get from the number 1 pick. That is true, but keeping Justin and eventually signing him then allocates money that you're not going to be able to allocate in free agency to other people that you'd be able to address. So there's a lot of moving parts to that conversation. The 5th-year option has become sort of just like the first formal deadline on making a yes or no vote on your quarterback. And I put out a tweet a couple weeks ago. I wish I had it in front of me right now because it is longer and fascinating about there was 32 quarterbacks drafted between 2011 and 2020. And it was the statuses of which ones got their 5th-year option exercised, which ones, were asked to play their 4th year. Daniel Jones being a prime example of that. No 5th-year option, play the 4th year, and then got rewarded for a good year. And now they're probably regretting that a little bit, giving them 4 years, 160. The number of players on that list who had their option declined or didn't make it far enough to have their option decline, you look at that list and you go, there's no example of a guy who had his 5th-year option declined and then suddenly hit some springboard and is a star now, and so you go, okay, what does that tell you? Everyone in the league says there's absolutely zero reason.
Oh, lost him.
Confidence. Right, did I lose you there? Where'd I cut out at?
Yeah, you froze for probably a solid 10 to 12 seconds.
Oh no good. Yep. So but what I was saying is there's no one in the league that is advocating with what we've seen from Justin over 38 starts to pick up the 5th-year option. And so that to most in the league registers as a pretty magnetic compass that tells you which direction you need to go in. If you're saying we don't believe enough in him to say that we want him to be our quarterback in 2025, then why are we going to pass on this golden opportunity to pick a guy in 2024?
He froze there. 2024, and then you froze, right?
Yeah, no, it's so you, I apologize. You've got this opportunity here to to find someone that you believe can be your quarterback well into the future. And
can they pass on another Mahomes? Hey, you saw what Stroud has done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What if we get 3 picks. They turn out to be Rex Grossman, Michael Haynes, and whoever, right?
But that's the point, Phil.
You have to take these swings to fix the quarterback. That's
you can't be afraid of the unknown. And I think there's a segment of the fan base right now that's paralyzing themselves with there's no guarantee. It's not what you have right now isn't a guarantee. What you have right now, you could be rebooting again a year from now and doing so in a much less advantageous situation where you don't have the number 1 overall pick, where you don't have a quarterback class that many feel has options, and you're the first team in line for the options.
God gave you this. This
was one thing that a current GM in the league said to me this week that I laughed out loud when he said it, because I said, how do you reconcile the idea that obviously in those roles you have to swing for the fences? And he said, look, you may have a solid single in Fields. He could turn into a double, but obviously the goal is to get your team a home run at quarterback. And he said, they don't even need to swing for the fences here. They've got the number 1 fucking pick, so it's like, you don't have to go leverage 5 picks to trade up and go get the guy the way a lot of teams often do. You're just using another team's failed season to go, you're going to get a fastball right down the middle. You just have to hit the damn thing, and you have to pick the right guy.
And it's set up to what you guys are talking about. Backed up, making a decision, as Shane has talked about. Franchise 5th-year option, guaranteed 25. Then you're paying 45 million. Right? So you're backed up. You
minimally
got the first-round pick of the first pick in the first round for the 2nd year in a row. God has given you this. You ran it back with Justin Fields, and I'm sorry. The only consistency has been inconsistency. That's it. And it's not good enough to I talked about Steve Young, Mike Vick, Vince Young, guys that can run and move and get into the NFL, and that runs out at some point, and you have to win from the pocket. He's still not consistently doing it. In the 4th quarter, you see the numbers. They track with the tape. The numbers show in the big moments, he's missing he's tapping the ball. He's squatting down, Dan. He can't see it. He misses. I mean, even this game, I could put on tape right now with the 3 of us and just show you.
Yeah.
He's got DJ Moore wide open the first play. If he puts the ball to the appropriate spot, it's a walk-in. He puts the ball. He's got to track it over and outside. He leads him outside because his mechanics are off. He's got a pocket. And DJ Moore makes the play. It's a first down. But it could have been a touchdown. That's the thing. Woulda, couldas with this guy. And that's where I'm done. I'm ready to move on. That's where I am.
You're not alone. And then, the 4th quarter struggles are well documented, and they are known around the league. And people consider that a bright red.
I hate when Dan freezes because he's so good.
Did I freeze again, or is that just Shane?
Froze again.
I'm sorry. I was saying that the 4th quarter is a crystal ball into how you'll perform in the playoffs, and that's how people around the league view it, because you're going to go play good teams and great defenses and people that know how to take away your strengths and keep you where you're uncomfortable, and they're going to make you beat them from in there. And if you can't do it, I don't know if I'm competing with a Wi-Fi signal from my son upstairs or what. That's getting this. I mean,
I got a 12-year-old that sucks it like that too. Yeah, they eat up all the Wi-Fi.
Should be in bed by now. He's supposed to be in bed by 9 o'clock.
Yeah. But Dan, the thing that makes me laugh, and I said, with the division in the fan base, and I said it gets like you said, it gets to such an extreme. But what I find funny, and I brought this up earlier, is everybody's saying you cannot bypass, the treasure trove of picks if you're Ryan Poles, because you got to let him eat. He's gonna build this team amazingly. with all this extra ammo because Ryan Poles knows what he's doing. But what if I turn that around on you and I say, well, what if that same GM that you're praising comes to the conclusion that he can't pass on Caleb Williams? Now, all of a sudden, you don't believe in him?
They will flip-flop.
It doesn't make any
very
fucking
quickly.
sense.
Yeah.
The Poles is a dumbass. You're going to draft Caleb Williams when you got.
I thought this guy was smart. Now,
yeah,
it's 2 minutes ago, I'm praising him over dinner with my wife.
Both sides of the fence the entire way, and it gets nauseating at a certain point.
Coupled with that, the euphoria chart spiked again Sunday against the Falcons, and understandably, that was a really terrific performance by the quarterback overall. He made very few mistakes, a ton of big plays. The 13-yard scramble is going to be forever etched into that highlight montage, and you're going to feel great about the way that he played in that game. If that was the norm, there's no debate in Chicago. You're signing him up for 5 more years, and you're saying that you give us that every single week, we're good. But to your point, Phil, it's been inconsistent. There's been no regularity of those types of performances. I ranked his first 35 starts, and we're now up to 37. That one probably ranks 1, 2, or 3 in his career. And if that was your 15th, now we've got a conversation, right? Because it's been happening regularly. Great performance. I'm not nitpicking anything from that performance, but it just hasn't been the norm over 3 years. And so you're taking a huge leap of faith that it will become the norm with all the flaws that you mentioned. That's where people just stop the conversation. They don't dig into the fourth quarter. They don't dig into the pocket feel. They don't dig into the nuances of high level quarterbacking in the NFL to understand what it takes to win at the highest level, And look, so I'll tell you this, the other part of this that's to the conversation about Ryan, where did Ryan come from? 13 years in Kansas City. They had Alex Smith, guys playing really well. They win 12 games, they win a division, and they go into the 2017 draft and say, this kid at Texas Tech is an all-in, can't miss, must-have guy. And we're not willing to settle for pretty good when we can go get somebody that we think can transform our franchise for a decade or longer. The dude has gone to 5 consecutive AFC Championship games, 3 Super Bowls, won 2 of them, and here, this year, in his down year, in the Kansas City Chiefs panic year, he just won his 6th consecutive division championship, threw for 4,000 yards and made the Pro Bowl. Wouldn't you love a down year for the Chicago Bears where that's what we were panicking about? Oh man, everything's going haywire, but we won the division. The quarterback threw for 4,000 yards and he's going to the Pro Bowl as well.
Yeah.
Jordan
Love's putting up numbers we've never seen. I mean, it's
but look, Shane, look at the well-stocked, established arsenal of pass catchers.
Exactly.
That's the argument that doesn't track. Exactly, Dan. Thank you. And I know you're being sarcastic, but it has to be said because when you look at that list, it's true. Justin's here at 26. He's under Josh Dobbs, Joe Flacco, for God's sake. How long was he there? So you're looking at numbers again. I'm not a stats guy, but when you dive into fourth quarter and you dive into what your expectations are, and then people try, he doesn't have any talent last year. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. He had to make the plays. He didn't make a lot of the plays that he needed to make last year. And this year he's got plenty of talent. And where are the numbers tracking there? And then, as you're saying, up north, Jordan Love with a group of receiver, and I loved Romeo Dobbs coming out of the draft. Everybody knows that. He's making it work, right? That's what an NFL quarterback has to do. It's got to be consistent.
Fourth quarter passer rating career is at 60.4, I think. And this year it's a career low at 50.2. And the only guy out of 38 dudes in the league that have thrown at least 38 dudes in the league that have thrown 50 fourth passes or more. The only guy worse is Bailey
Zappi.
Yeah.
Wow. Again, when I watch the tape, it gets in crunch time. You see the fundamental mechanics, the processing, and the decision getting slower because he doesn't want to make a mistake. So he's got to see it. I believe it. There's a fake toss boot that he gets out. It's a great call. Play design is perfect. Nothing on Getsy here. And Tyler Scott's wide open. Now, he eventually throws to Tyler Scott, and it's completed. Had he thrown to Tyler Scott, as soon as he turns and snaps his head and delivers the football like he should, Tyler Scott's running for another 35 yards or maybe more. But instead, it's a 13-yard gain, and he gets knocked out, and no one cares about it. This dude in the chat, Mr. fucking Big Ass, we'll send him a link. Kareem Slanton on his show, he's talking how great that was. But when you look at the tape and you see the hesitation, this is where fourth quarter, like you said, it's great that, it's the closest thing to playoff football where it matters. Justin has not been able to freaking deliver. It's fact.
Slightly different example, but the play in the Cleveland game that it actually bothered me in live action, and then more so when I rewatched it, and then after talking to people, you're like, okay,
Cole Kmet play.
No, it's the screen left to Roshan Johnson that's blocked up for 50 yards, possibly 60.
Oh my God, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
and he throws it away, right?
And threw it away.
They're going didn't even give there was pressure in his face. Yes, that's how a screen pass works, right? You let the pressure come to you, and then you manipulate a throwing angle to get the ball out to your running back. He did this great in the win in Foxborough a year ago.
He did it again this game too. I have it on tape. He throws it out of bounds.
So he throws this one out of bounds, and this is the type of play that people will watch and tell you, if you hit that, the door is slammed on the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
And if the door is slammed on Cleveland Browns, the livelihood of every single person in your football organization is different for the next 7 days. Entirely different. Yeah. And that's what the responsibility of these quarterbacks is. That's why if they're good at it, they get paid $290 million.
Without blinking an eye.
Without blinking.
Yeah. Right. Without and that's it. It's 3 to 5 plays within every game that if you make, you put your team in, John Fox used to say it's going to be crisis or carnival. You put your team into the carnival. If you miss it, you put your team into crisis. It feels a lot better inside that building. Trust me, as someone that's been there for 11 years now, it feels a lot better when you're inside the carnival than when you're inside the crisis. And so that's on the quarterback to make those plays and seize those moments when those moments are there to be seized. And when you don't, all of a sudden you've got a dispirited locker room after the game. You're trying to figure it out. And it just all goes sideways from there.
Dan, this is against Detroit, and I'll let Phil take over here and I'll play it, but this is the one that really bothered me, and this is to Cole Kmet, if you just focus in on him, and then Phil take it over once I hit play, and just focus on Cole. Again. And I almost smashed my remote.
This was what did you call the Cleveland screen again? The shutdown of the Browns? What did you call it?
Yeah, I mean, you just slam the door on them.
Slam the door. This is a
kill shot. It's over.
This is a kill shot for Detroit.
This is Cole Kmet.
They ended up winning this.
Big part of your offense that you've invested in, and it's just you shouldn't be worried about this in year 3. So here we go. You just watch Cole here, and it's giving me stress. Just
we're playing cover 2, and what's the cover 2 beater?
Yeah, right.
He's got him wide open off.
Just rip it.
Right there.
It's there.
You're on your back plant foot. He stands tall and he delivers because this safety at the 30 has got Cole. That's it.
And the people that refuse to acknowledge reality will tell you, well, that safety is going to close much faster.
Exactly. And that was a thing on Twitter, Dan. He's like, oh, that safety in it. The safety's not even a real physical guy anyway. But I mean, that is pitch catch all day long.
Tom Brady hits that shit to Gronk, and Gronk is rolling down into the 15, maybe touchdown. Stiff arm.
Look at that. Yeah.
Still,
come on. This is the
funniest part about this.
The pocket's clean enough.
Yeah. The funniest part about this play, Dan, is that he ends up bailing out and going to Cole Kmet, but it ends up being they end up getting a holding penalty on this. But I mean,
we're scramble drilling now, right?
Right, but
now I remember this one. This was like 6.9 when the holding flag came out.
Yeah,
Lucas Patrick.
But this is what we see over.
I can bring up more tape, Shane.
This is from 1968.
No, this is from
the Snow Bowl.
It's the
This
snow,
is from
yeah.
the Snow Bowl. So here we go, and we can draw it up here. You're gonna get a slot fade. This guy's running the deep post, so he's gonna get burned right here. This guy. So we'll just show this one play because I don't want to keep Dan, but I love doing this. So he's going here. Okay. Justin makes the right read, right?
Yeah.
Watch where the ball goes. It tracks over the shoulder and out of bounds. He takes the guy out of bounds. Now, watch it from the coach's angle, and you'll see the release, the windup, and the actual throw and the mechanics of it. You could see he's got his feet nice pocket. He winds up and he throws the ball out instead of leading him straight down the field.
I'll cut him a little slack on this one just because of the conditions out there. And at that point of the afternoon the other day, it was coming down a little bit sideways and a little bit gusty, and I'll give him a little break on that one.
Here's the dash pass that I talk about. You're playing to this side of the field. It's short. So receiver's just going to run an out here. This guy's running off. This guy's the target. It's predetermined. Dash. He's there. Now watch your quarterback. He throws so late that the sideline becomes the defender.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You have to just release it.
That was another one in live action where you go, well, that play doesn't work if it's run like that.
Exactly. This is
now the 1 yard into the sideline is never going to be a good play.
Here, he throws an absolute dime, right?
I love this play for two reasons. Watch the late hands by DJ. Just the late hands with a Pro Bowl safety. Pro Bowl safety doesn't have a play on it because DJ waits the last second to flash.
This is a great throw. This is what we talk about, the inconsistencies. Great throw, putting him on the dime. Here, in better weather, throwing again, Dan.
Yeah.
Out of bounds. He's throwing him out. You'll see it from the coach's angle.
This is another disgusting catch.
The guy is a Pro Bowler that didn't make the Pro Bowl. That's what it is. So again, you see, you have all of this field.
Yep.
Okay, that area.
Yeah.
When you throw the football, you throw it here.
Especially on this one, because you got a lot of green grass.
But you see the inconsistency in the deep ball. It's always tracking out because watch his footwork as he falls to that side. See how he falls over? That makes the ball track out. And this is the consistent. Caleb Williams, boom, drops that down or lead him up to the top. Let him run through it. It's consistent with Justin Fields, the mechanics and the throwing and the waiting and all of that. Here he checks down, and again, we could go through a bunch. I wanted to show you.
This is the trap that we fall into, Philly. You're showing tape, and then you get comments like, "We'll show Mahomes 3."
Yeah, right. I mean, okay.
Well, do you want to see his 2 Super Bowl rings?
I was just gonna say, I'll show you. I'll show you his 2 parades too.
Right.
And,
what is the fucking what is the comparison?
Do you guys have tape of the 2 parades? Like, we'll go through that a little bit.
Yeah, Mark Tressman plotted it out. He had it broken down timestamp.
Last play.
Yeah.
Last play. Okay, guys. This is the inconsistency. And there's 5 more that are bad. But we'll just stop here because I don't want to continue. But here's the play I'm talking about. Matt, great fake. You get everybody turned.
Yep.
And now you're booting naked, right?
Not 1, but 2.
Here we go. 2 guys, right? 2. But the idea is this guy based on the coverage. Okay. Now watch Justin. He sees him. And that's the problem.
It just took too long. It just way
too long.
Way
and
too
no
long.
one could.
And guess who gets blamed? Luke, right? Luke gets blamed. Luke. There's been a very successful campaign by a segment of people to turn Luke into the boogeyman that has been the absolute reason that Justin hasn't emerged. Now, to be fair to Justin, I want to say this is like, if I were to take something from that dude and give to every quarterback that I ever see for the rest of the time. It's his thick skin and the way that he handles all of this stuff. The dude is
wiring, right?
He's
And
handled himself with the maturity and the grace and the ability to reboot. And it's why you hear the gushing praise out of the locker room about guys who love him, because they know he's about the right things, that he has his heart in the right spot, that he is truly squeezing everything he can out of himself. There just are some limitations. And I've told people now for a month that one of the most challenging parts of my role is to be harshly critical of people you deeply admire. And I admire that dude, like thicker skin than I could dream to have, like the amount of backlash that I would have had at 24 years old, if people were talking the shit about me that they talk about, just like it would have been nuclear, and he handles it. He rolls off his back, and it's a beautiful thing to have. The goal of the Chicago Bears, though, again, is to try to be a team like the Packers, like the Bills have become. Bills are a great model because remember, they were irrelevant forever, and all of a sudden are in the playoffs every year again with a quarterback that carries them there in big moments. You want to be one of these teams that's getting the maximum amount of swings at the postseason, and then one year you hope your swing connects. It's why the great Drew Brees has got one Super Bowl, Aaron Rodgers has got one Super Bowl. Peyton Manning had to wait till his last year with a bulky neck and an incredible defense, to finally get his second. It's not easy to win one, much less multiple. And so you want to have as many swings as you can. I always laugh at the people that say, "Oh, Aaron Rodgers only got one more Super Bowl than Rex Grossman or Mitch Trubisky." Yeah, okay. Like, you don't think the existence for Packers fans over the last 15 years has been far more enjoyable than it's been for the people in Chicago? I mean, that's what you're striving for.
Well, we'll bring up one more play. I want you guys to see this. I'm sorry. This is the stuff that infuriates me for an NFL quarterback. And I'll put up a good play too. Action with no fake, perfect pocket. There is zero chance to miss this to Tyler Scott. But the quarterback does, because his throwing wind up tap. Oh, you can't miss this throw in the NFL. That's wide open. And this is what infuriates me, because he'll make two great plays.
Yeah.
And then miss this throw. I mean, that's a wide open receiver. Now I'll bring it back to 3 minutes. And I believe this is his best play of the game at the 3-minute mark here on this. This is his best throw and it's better than the touchdown where the late hands happened. And what you're going to get is the perfect call off action, and watch him, look at him spread his feet. You're going to get this post here and the runoff, and he just dimes it to DJ Moore.
Yep.
Anticipates the route. This is what I want to see from him.
So Phil, one of the things here is
look at that.
The anticipation here is because you got man coverage.
Exactly. He loves man.
Because you're not fearful of somebody coming out of a window that you're a little bit unsure of. You just see your guy running a route against the defender and you say, he's open, I'll throw it. If there's a zone defender there, I bet that ball isn't thrown, and it becomes something else. And that look, like, I think the Packers will probably come with a heavy dose of zone on Sunday, and we'll see what it looks like. We'll see if the replication of the success against the Falcons can be had. Like the Arizona game, right? You've got the 39-yard superhero run that is terrific. Very next play, interception in the end zone because you failed on some basic NFL concepts against, by the way, a C team in the NFL that if you do that against a team that's going to be in the playoffs, or a team that you're fighting to get into the playoffs against, like, they're going to make you pay for that. You left the door open. You didn't slam the door, and you left the door open. That's how that's the seed that gets planted for some of these collapses, right? Is not taking advantage of those moments. You got to do that. Look, this has been a crazy saga in this town, and some of it is because of how breathtaking the highlights are, and it's created an intoxication for fans that have gotten addicted to how that feels. I get it. The adrenaline rush is awesome.
That's what Kurt Warner said. You can't live in the wow, and you can't. You have to be consistent, and then you have those wows on top of it. But so, Dan, with all of this being said, if you were, and I'm, just whatever, if you had to push all your chips in the middle of the table, You think Justin Fields is the quarterback in Chicago in 2024?
I don't, and I was going to say this a few minutes ago that like Ryan was on one of those double-decker buses.
Yep.
He knows
Yeah.
what the Super Bowl parade feels like. He knows what got them there, and it was Patrick Mahomes. And after he got hired, I asked him kind of what he had learned from the experience of being, in that front office when they drafted Mahomes. And he said, look, like when you're going through the pre-draft process, a lot of people can convince themselves into what a guy can't do. But we talked all the time about with Patrick, what can he do that no one else can? And they put on tape and eliminated all the checkdowns and the easy throws, and they saw things down the field that were just otherworldly and said, yeah, let's do this. Let's sign up for this guy and see how we can develop him, albeit with a pretty good quarterback mind overseeing it. And that's a key too, is like you better pair whoever you pick with somebody that you have full confidence, not half confidence, not 85% confidence. Full confidence is going to take him to the highest of heights that he can reach. And that's hard. It's hard to find those people, but this is the NFL. Everything is hard. It's a cutthroat league, $1 billion industry that you have to be on top of every last detail at a high level to even dream about playing into February, much less actually getting there and then winning the game that's played in February.
So
very well said, Dan, by the way.
You brought up Luke Getsy, and I'm not a huge Luke Getsy guy where I think he struggles, and this is my biggest flaw with Eberflus.
Our biggest flaw.
Situationally, they're poor at best. Situationally.
Third
where
and two.
Where I will defend them is these plays that we're putting up there.
Yeah.
That Justin is missing. Somebody's calling those plays. Somebody's drawing up those plays where those guys are wide open. You know what I mean? So that, to me, is a feather in Luke Getsy's cap.
They scored 37 the other day, and nobody went on any show on Monday and said Luke Getsy called a good game.
Right.
Nobody on Tuesday said Luke Getsy called a good game. And look, like I want to make this clear because those who listen selectively will argue that I've stood on the rooftop of downtown Chicago and played a bugle and said Luke Getsy's the best offense coordinator in the NFL. No, all I've said is that the struggles and the inconsistency of the offense has a big blame pie that needs to be distributed, and Luke gets a slice and Justin gets a slice and the offensive line gets a slice, and you just can't give the offensive coordinator 97% of that pie and say that's it, that he's the problem. And people that look at it through a sophisticated lens like you do when you run the tape and when you look through it, you see that this isn't a complete disaster of an offense at all. Like we remember what the final stages of the Nagy era were like. They couldn't score 10 points in that first half ever. And you would walk out going, what are we watching? This isn't that. Like I think they're top 2 in rushing. I think they're 10th in third down efficiency, 12th in a red zone.
These are a bad center and a average left tackle. Imagine if they improve.
Situation saying it's bad, it would.
I'm not even saying Luke should be here next year, but
that was going to be my next thing, Dan. So
you said Alabama level terrible.
McLaughlin entered the transfer portal, by the way, tonight. She should have. Saban drove his ass there, but So you say Justin is gone. So let's just say that means that Caleb is here. What do you think that means? Because would you be surprised at this point if Eberflus is gone? Because I would be.
I would not be surprised either way, to be honest.
Okay. Really?
And that's why that's the decision where I'm kind of sitting on the edge of my seat going, what are they going to do and how are they going to again explain it? How are they going to justify it in a way that allows us to see 10 months, 18 months into the future to see what exactly they're plotting to do here with that. So that's the one where Kevin Warren's the wild card, you think
he's going to be made? Do you think it's going to be Justin is going to be the scapegoat? Do you think that's the likeliest scenario?
I wouldn't even call it the scapegoat. I would just think that they have determined that they have a more clear path to being a sustained championship competitor down another road. Now, again, like I haven't done enough homework on this class other than what I hear people say.
Yeah.
But you're picking first. Again, you're picking first. Sure. And there's 5 dudes that people think in the top 15
and you're not
picks.
And you're not giving anything up, like you said, to get there.
Nothing. Literally nothing.
Control it.
You've already cashed in last year's number 1 pick for a whole bunch of stuff that is already helping you. And now you've got this, by the way,
2 picks already, bro. Everyone forgets that they have
gonna
their
pick
own
12.
shitty pick.
Yeah,
right.
right.
At 12, right?
10 right now. Yeah.
Right,
10,
10.
and then I think it can go as low as
13.
13 and as high as 8, right?
8, yep.
So we're looking at 8 based on what you two are predicting. So think about where you are, what you've done, the history of this franchise, and where your inconsistency has been with this kid, with the payday there. All signs point to making a different quarterback decision.
And the people that argue that the payday and the deadline for the option don't matter, I don't know what world you're living in. Like this
Exactly.
It's the number one thing.
It literally causes
I'm an
you
F a
again,
cap guy,
Right.
and you got and Shane and Cars and
Said it
you
for
all
months.
have me convinced months ago that that is an important thing.
That's the thing. So many people, and I listen to everybody. I listen to you and David on your podcast, and just everybody. And I love to consume as much information as I can to see what everybody's thoughts are. And almost to a man, everybody said there's so many layers to this. But at the end of the day, I honestly don't think it's that layered, Dan. I just don't. We see what we see,
right?
And are you willing to give this kid $50 million a year? That's the decision right now.
It's a similar fear to the end of the Mitch era where people are scared he was going to go somewhere else and be great. Now it's a heightened fear because Justin's got a higher ceiling than Mitch ever had, and you're
Right.
fearful of that. But it's just that's a fear factor. It's not an intelligent, grounded look at the situation. It's what if he becomes something we've never seen before? Okay, well, like then that's part of the dice roll.
Yeah.
And that, yeah, there will always be risk in this league, and you may pick a guy that doesn't pan out, but you can't be scared of picking a guy that might not pan out. If you've decided that the guy you have right now has limitations that won't allow you to compete annually for the biggest prize in the sport. So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. Let me ask you this, Shane, as you consume your content, because this is a personal question, do you turn your phone on like 1.5 speed or 1.75 speed to get
only
through
when Braggs is talking.
Because I do it with almost every podcast I listen to, and I don't think it's healthy because then I feel like my whole day is like sped up and I'm jittery because I've been living in this world where everyone's talking.
No, I hear you.
But I got more information in my head. But
the thing that gets me, Dan, is I honestly think people are scared to be wrong rather than just speaking about what they see, because you hear so many guys like, and Adam Johns, I called him out a little bit because he went and saw one game of Drake May and then he was a fucking superstar, and there was an article and all these fans are like, oh, it's Drake May, and he literally shit down his leg after that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's
right,
like,
the game that he saw Caleb was against Notre Dame.
Right, and it's
right.
This is so much more than one game. And I brought this up too. Is you could bring Penix into the situation, but the other night, Roma Dunze, and he's going to be somebody that we're obviously going to be talking about as we move forward. But I guarantee you,
my number 2,
90% of the fan base, that was the first time they ever saw him play.
Right,
was the other night, and there's. What was the kid's name that was we were talking about earlier that moved the Dunze up from the
Jacob Infante.
Jacob Infante wrote a friggin' article about the Bears taking 2 wide receivers in the top 10, and I'm like, what are we doing?
What world
here?
are you? You lose
if
your
you
ability
draft
to
2 wide receivers in the top 10. Polls should be launched to the fucking.
June Jones didn't do that, for God's sake.
I got better down the stretch of 2023 at muting people because I was tired of getting concussions from banging my head into the wall. So some of the stuff that you're referencing, I no longer see because my finger on the mute button has gotten good on Twitter.
Oh well.
Let me ask you this,
just
Dan.
real quick. I want to share this with.
Don't forget.
I probably shouldn't even go there, but
go ahead.
Phil and I we go to our YouTube comments after. So like tomorrow, I'm sure even because everybody loves Dan Wiederer and loves Shane and Phil, so I'm sure our YouTube comments will be on fire tomorrow. But we had people openly calling Phil and I racist because we're ready to move off of Justin Fields to draft Caleb Williams. I'm like,
right. By the way,
where does that make any sense? But
with a black general manager and a black team president, right?
Yes,
like,
yes,
yeah.
This is sad. It's aggressive and disgusting
and
this
toxic
point.
and toxic.
It really is. I don't even do Twitter. Obviously, I
God
fucked
bless
up
you.
on Twitter and I bounced on it. But let me ask you this: Jim Harbaugh, the chances of him being the Bears head coach is a percentage. Where do you put it?
My educated guess is very slim.
Shit.
And I think it's twofold. I think you talk to people about the quirky personality and the kind of instant morph that does to your building with a guy who kind of wants everything done his way.
Isn't that what we need in Hallis Hall, though?
That's exactly what we need.
A little bit, but
George McCaskey.
So this is how it was phrased to me a week and a half ago, that Harbaugh's not only a little bit strange, but he's also spent, how many years has he been at Michigan now? It's like 7 or 8.
7.
And
it was 7.
And there's a little bit of a God complex that comes from being in a major college program and having high level success and thinking that like the only answer you can get to any question is yes, and so then you just kind of have to be willing to take that on with the understanding that also he might wear out his welcome in 3 years and you're pivoting again.
Better than the pussification of the Bears coaching.
Is the
hold hands with Virginia?
Is the Warren Harbaugh thing a legit?
I think there. I think
animosity there.
I wouldn't call it animosity. I don't think that would be a healthy blend. Let's say that of personality. And Shane, when we started, like, I'm with you. There's justifiable skepticism of everything the Bears do, but I think we're in a different era now with Kevin. I'm giving Kevin the benefit of the doubt until he proves that he doesn't deserve it anymore. There's just so much more of a heightened level of competence with his oversight and his attention to detail. I'll just put that right on the table. There's a heavy attention to detail in everything he does that didn't exist with Ted. It didn't exist when George and Ted were putting their heads together and trying to figure out what's next for the future. It's why we, walk into a postseason press conference after a year that everyone knew was a disaster. And you hear the thing I was most proud of with Ryan and Matt was their poise in the 6-game losing streak. And you're like, okay, well, but the good teams don't have the 6-game losing streak, And so anyway, I just think we're going to be walking into a world that we haven't had, where there is that heightened attention to detail and there is that added competence. But this is obviously Kevin's first big test here, is how he guides Ryan, how he oversees Ryan, how they come to a collective decision and vision on where they're going to go, quarterback, head coach, and the rest of the roster. And by the way, eventually a stadium.
Did you like Kevin Warren's video address?
I fucking hated it.
I know what you did. I'm asking Dan what he thought of that.
Which one?
The one that he put out to the fans leading up to the last game. It was a 30-second to see.
You didn't see it?
Oh yeah,
Claudio or Cherie or somebody.
I don't know if I still have it.
This is the most recent game, Sunday.
Yeah, right before the game.
Okay,
during the week.
It was a 30-second thank you, fans. But he was reading every single word, and it was
cringe
wildly
for us.
And
That's
I'm like,
what I want to see.
Fans, we hear you. Just as oh fucking A. I'm like, please. I'm like, if you can't just speak from the heart for 30 seconds, because I can remember when the rumors of Kevin, I can remember listening to you and David, and you're like, he's not going to leave the Big Ten, and the Bears aren't going to pony up. Bears aren't going to pony up $7 million or whatever he was making.
David was like, "There's no way he comes to this shitty
Why would you leave the Big Ten?" And then they did it, but it's just he's the ultimate X factor in all of this. And I hope he is. And Chris Zorich does a show on our network here every week, and he's very, very close. And I don't think Chris will mind me sharing this. He's like, if you guys think Kevin's not a fucking assassin, he gives zero fucks when it's time to go to work.
Oh, right. No, and
And
like you have to meet a certain standard. And
Yeah.
it can be ruthless at times, but it's also very energizing for the people that thrive in those environments. And that's
Yep.
what has been lacking in Hallis Hall, in my opinion, is just that level of daily ambition to go chase the biggest goals that there are out there.
exactly.
And when you get a group of people that feel that, it's supercharged, and you just go and you rally. Like this team right now, again, like I don't know how you guys feel on the whole. We're by necessity we talk a lot about Justin, but my God, like there are some things here
There's enough talent here to be in the playoffs, Dan.
and guys that are going to be
Yeah.
here
Lot of
for a little
talent.
bit too. I hope that good. Congrats to Jalen Johnson tonight for getting that Pro Bowl nod
Gotta
because
pay him.
that dude responded.
Yep.
He was challenged this year and he responded, and I've just loved that kid's wiring from the day he got here. He's got a level of fearlessness and self confidence that's necessary at the position, and when you see those breakthroughs, you're like, okay, like let's hammer out a few more of those because they start to become contagious. And that's how that group, that core from, the Urlacher era stayed together as long as they did because it just starts to feed off each other.
I'm on record here with Jalen. Leading into this season, I said, I'm moving on. I'll let Jalen play it out. You wanted to see more ball production, and then boom, he went out and did it. And I relate it to Roquan. Everybody still wants to bag on the Chicago Bears for the Roquan deal, and I would still make that trade 10 times over. I really would, with what they got and what the Bears linebackers are doing this year. We didn't see ball production like that from Roquan at any point. He's got 8 career interceptions, I think, or maybe 9. I think he just had one. But in his time in the league, and I said, even Tremaine Edmonds at this point, he went on a heater, 4 in his last 7 or 8 games, interceptions. TJ Edwards, you want to talk about a Pro Bowler? That kid's a Pro Bowler all day long.
Dude's got great feel for the game.
And
Same with
Sandler.
Kyler. And I talk every week on our podcast about Kyler Gordon because he's a dude that was part of the 0-4 start is Kyler Gordon's on an injured reserve and he comes back and all of a sudden you're like, man, you feel that dude every single game. He's assignment sound. He's aggressive. He's like, he knows
he's my undervalued player on the whole team.
When I first got into the league covering it was up in Minnesota, and Antoine Winfield's one of the best there ever was in that nickel. And like I remember having conversations with him about, okay, like why is this such a complex position to be good at? And just hearing some of the wisdom of just the full vision that you need to have, coupled with aggressiveness, coupled with fast trigger reactions. And then once it all clicks in, all of a sudden you're the one dictating the tempo. And Kyler's on that trajectory right now. I'm not calling him Antoine Winfield, but he's a dude that like he's a key piece in your defense that you can't let go.
Well, don't you remember
100% right?
Remember and not saying that he hasn't had some, good games, but we cover the draft from the first pick to the last pick. Every one of them. And when Kyler Gordon was the pick, Cap was on with us.
Okay.
Live. And he goes, I think it's going to be Gordon. And the chat melted down because they didn't take George Pickens.
Yeah.
And guess what? Guess not that Pickens hasn't played well in spots, but I'll take Kyler Gordon or Brisker.
Agreed.
Either one of those guys all day long over Pickens.
And look, like I'm the first one to tell you that sometimes culture gets overrated, but there's other points where like culture is absolute necessity in terms of not introducing those types of distractions and characters into your program. Like you need to have it. And like I told somebody yesterday that this group, for all that they had to navigate within this season, like I give this group a lot of credit for how well that they've stood up and responded to all of it, whether it's questions from the media or just coming back off of, those three disastrous losses that we talk about, Denver and Cleveland and Detroit. They come back the next week after every one of those and won, which is a testament to a group that doesn't let one loss become two. Now you should have never let the first loss become the first loss, but like that there is a skill to that of figuring out a way to stop that quickly and reset and reboot. And I think the defense leads that charge. This is just a footnote to when we were talking about that screen pass in Cleveland. It's one of those games, like season on the line game, and your defense gift wrapped 14 points for you. All they needed you to do was do one thing in the game, and you steal a road upset, and everything is different. The entire season's different. The entire season's different potentially.
Can you this is a question I had, and DG Daniels. We get Deonta Foreman was injured, but explain all the healthy scratches for the best rusher in the room. I'm with DG there. What is the story there? First, he's a healthy scratch to begin the season. Then he comes in, and you could see the flow, the power, the tone setting that he's had. And then all of a sudden, now he's a healthy scratch. What's going on there? Clearly, he's not happy either.
The poor dude has been in this role for like his entire career, where he needs someone to get hurt before he's allowed to be let out of the cage. And look, like when he took advantage of his opportunities in the middle of the year, I thought that they had a play style that was optimal, that they were aiming for, and it was impressive. I like the dude. He's a really, really good guy, a hard worker. You guys know his backstory and all the things that he's done to make sure he stays in this league. And the only answer I have to that is that it's a loaded room, and obviously, you know, you don't second guess Khalil Herbert on Sunday after the production he had against the Falcons.
He looks healthy again.
Yeah, like he looks like he had a little burst, and Roshan's coming on and gives you a lot in pass protection and that reliability of the grit that he brings in the backfield there. And so I think sometimes it's just a loaded room and you're carrying a fullback, and you know, it just is what it is. But you know, if he's not here next year, I hope somebody sees that middle portion of this season and gives him an opportunity, because he's certainly a guy that fits in any program.
There's no downside to offering him a 1-year deal in my book. I mean,
he ain't coming back.
No, I don't think so either. His tweet that he sent, did you see the tweet that he sent out Saturday night?
Yeah.
I texted that to Phil that night. I'm like, dude, he ain't active tomorrow.
When he sent me the inactive,
I'm
like, this is a shit show. I think he's a tone setter. I think he's better than Herbert, without a doubt. I know Khalil has had some good moments, but he's a change of pace.
Don't forget also that,
like you said, the tone.
Some of that was during the 4-game stretch where Tyson was starting, and you're able to go under center a little bit more and play some of that traditional downhill running. You know, Justin requires you to be in the shotgun, right? And like Foreman's much better coming downhill in an under center format, and when you're trying to run zone read with the quarterback, you know, like you're going to have to play your running game a little bit differently. This is part of, you know, like, just molding your offense around who's playing at the time. And that's one of the criticisms of Luke that I push back on, is like, they've evolved and reinvented themselves multiple times in the last 2 years trying to make things work. It's not like he's been rigid and stubborn and said, this is the only style we will play. You just have to figure it out on the fly sometimes with the guys that you have playing.
I know I don't want to keep you too long, but I wanted to ask you, will we ever get the details of the issues with Alan Williams and the running back coach being fired? Will that ever come to fruition? That light?
You're the first person to ask me that.
Yeah.
Oh, nobody asked you?
No, I'm kidding. It's not like, no matter where I go in town and, you know, wherever I am socially, it's one of the.
I mean, there's some.
Is this like taboo?
There's some pretty wild rumors that I know that we.
But doesn't the head coach take responsibility for that?
There's about 5 different versions of things that you've heard. Somewhere you go, oh, that's not bad, and others where you go, if that happened, holy, you know. So look, what I always tell people that ask that question is, there are things I can tell you in a bar somewhere that I've heard, and then there are things that there's no chance I'm touching them anywhere near a camera, a newspaper, keyboard, or anywhere else, because not up for that smoke. Certainly they have to get their arms around that in the building in terms of what happened, and I always say also that, like, Allen wasn't performing at a high level as a coordinator up to that point either.
Anyway. Yes.
So, right, like, so you had a middling coordinator who then got in trouble. I mean, and it caused you again to go through some reshuffling at a time where you needed to be focused on just not shuffling moving forward. And so, I mean, like, so Matt's talked this week about, you know, continuing to call plays if he's still here in 2024. Okay, who gets the defensive coordinator title? How do you kind of rearrange things so that you can still be that chief overseer of the entire team? which
Have
I think
you guys
is
ever had
important.
access to Phil Snow to talk to him at all?
No, David, I don't know if you hear this on the podcast. He doesn't think Phil Snow exists. He
Oh,
thinks
yeah.
he thinks he's a made-up
Weekend at
creation. I asked him if there was like if you rearranged the letters in Phil Snow, does it spell something that we're all missing? You know, like you guys can play around with that and figure out if that's something. But
It's actually Larry Mayer. Yeah.
Oh my fucking god!
Yeah. Oh, we've worn that clip out, Dad, at our show.
We drop it on guests that are like talking, and then we drop you.
I love it.
Real last one for me with regards to what Courtney Cronin was talking about with the hiring of Matt Eberflus being more Ted Phillips and George McCaskey and the Bill Polian complex.
She backtracked on it a little bit when somebody.
I know she moved the goalpost a little bit, but
yeah.
Do you think there's truth in that they kind of forced, hey, you're a young GM? We saw this with Ernie Accorsi and Ryan Pace with John Fox. Now
That
here
one
we
was
are
different.
sitting. Go ahead, talk about.
Well, that first one with Ryan and Foxy felt arranged in a lot of ways,
100%.
and particularly trying to pair a first timer with a guy who'd been around the block a little bit.
Because the rumor was Pace actually wanted Bowles, is what I had heard.
And Flus, you know, isn't a guy that had the skins on the wall as a head coach, obviously that Foxy had at that point.
Right.
Look, like Ryan and Matt, current Ryan and Matt, they share an agent, and it felt like that was going to be a package deal from minute one. I always raised my eyebrows early in the process when, Ryan basically expressed such conviction that this was the guy he absolutely had to have as a coach, and it just like it did. There was a lot of things where you were like, explain this, because I like why was this the equivalent of Trubisky for the previous regime, where it's him and him only. Like, I'm not even going to spend 4 or 5 days doing interviews to meet other people.
We have that.
Right. Like, you remember that.
Yeah.
And look, like that's the cycle that had Brian Daboll in it. That's the cycle that had Mike McDaniel in it. That's the cycle that had Kevin O'Connell in it. And you've got a young quarterback who needs to try to hit a developmental springboard, and you'd think it would be at least advantageous to pick those guys' brains and steal a couple thoughts, even if you weren't going to hire him. Like, just take a couple notes and be like, oh, I like this. This is how he was going to set our quarterback up for success. That one, it always gave me some pause on the timeline of the whole thing, and I don't know that I've ever fully reconciled that. And look, and Ryan came out this year with full-throated vote of confidence in Matt when things were going haywire in week 9. And so, it would, that's why when you hear the chatter increasingly in league circles that Matt's going to be around, like, you go, okay, it jives with what has been said there for a long time. And if Ryan were to backtrack on that, you'd have some other questions on how 9 weeks ago did you have this much confidence and now you're moving on. But look, like, so that's why I say, like, I hope that the press conference next week
is that going to be Monday? Is that
no? They'll do locker room on Monday, and then it'll probably be later in the week.
Okay.
And so
if they keep Eberflus,
I don't want to I want that to be unlimited questions. Like, we'll decide in the room when we're done asking.
Yeah, when the guy says 2 more questions, say "fuck you." Right.
We got 14 more, and we're gonna get them all in.
Can we tell him
that was Nick Moriano?
Who is that guy? He drives me crazy. 2 more. Like, shut the fuck up. 2 more.
The only time I've ever seen that addressed was Matt Nagy did it.
I gotta give Nagy credit.
He did that once. We have it on air, and he's like 2 more, and he goes, no, I'm good. And then I was like, good. Holy shit, finally.
Since Shane's bringing this, does it infuriate you as a beat reporter as much as it does me after the game, epic loss, another loss, whatever it is, and the head coach comes out there, well, in the third quarter, he really controlled the game, and he starts listing the positives without addressing what just transpired in any way? It drives me insane.
Particularly after the Cleveland loss, it was like that opening statement lasted like 4 minutes and 50 seconds. And it was almost like he convinced himself that if he talked
lose his job
until everyone stopped paying attention. Like the entire loss would just disappear.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like, I'm just going to keep going and keep going. And you're like, all right, well, we got some pretty pressing things to get to with this game, including why was your 305-pound defensive tackle dropping into coverage at a key moment in the game? Like, can we get through the third quarter positives? So there are moments where I do that. Overall, I think Matt's gotten better in that department. Again, it's from a place where there was nowhere to go but up.
It seems to me like he's been talking with more confidence, and to me, it was almost like he knew that he was going to be, because he's actually let a couple of zingers go, with which I'm like, wow, that it just didn't seem like him. I know he had the back and forth with Leisure with what's up yours, and then he actually brought it up again. He's like, was that what you had? Is that what you had up your sleeve? And
I don't know what's up yours.
Yeah. Crazy.
I like that one because him and Jason have a history.
You can definitely feel it when you're listening to the pressers. You can.
But like I've been asked several times, do you feel like his lighter tone and lighter mood recently is a byproduct of giving us some assurance that he'll be back? I said, no, it's just a byproduct of winning. Like, it's just a lighter mood in the building when you've won 5 of 7. It's just like it's just more free. And like 2018 was the prime example where you win 9 of your last 10 regular season games, and everybody felt light and free in that moment.
Figure out why he doesn't wear a goddamn hat. Drives me nuts. I mean,
Used to though, right? Like
he did. And then
last year, yeah.
Yeah,
in
we
the
came to the
snow,
conclusion that he gets Botox
sense.
because his eyebrows are stuck up like that he didn't want to smush it down.
Don't talk about eyebrows with you.
Oh, yeah. You can't do it with mine. Yeah, I got accused of that. But so just, Dan, we'll let you go after this. And one thing that I wanted to ask is just getting back to Ryan Poles after the Chase Claypool fiasco. I got to give him a ton of credit for pulling off that Chase Claypool thing falling apart and then pulling off the Montez Sweat the next year with another second rounder. I mean, just the pressure in that had to be pretty massive to me. And I said, I want to give him a little bit of credit there. How did you feel? Because I was a Montez Sweat fan, but I didn't even see it going where it has went already. I know Mike Lombardi was an idiot and his thoughts on it, but can you speak on that real quick? Did we lose him?
We might have froze because he is intent.
Yeah, he was out on the Botox comment.
Yeah. I think he froze Cherie. Oh, man. Dan Wiederer. Dan gets a bad rap out there. And there he is.
I really froze that. I really froze that.
Wow.
I
like
lost Chase Claypool and Montez Sweat.
That was like the Luke Getsy fullback dive play.
After the Chase Claypool trade, I think the pressure during the Montez Sweat to pull that trade off, like a year later after the Claypool thing fell apart. I said, to me, it's a pressure situation for Ryan Poles that he even went through with it, that he's like, holy shit, I was burned by this. And I said, I know Mike Lombardi and his ridiculous comments, but can you speak on that? Because I was a Montez Sweat fan, but I didn't see him being the multiplier that he has clearly become here. Speak on that for me.
Credit for envisioning that to Ryan Poles, because I don't think a lot of people envisioned that. And Travis Smith, their D-line coach, said something 2 weeks ago that there was all these questions on how's Montez Sweat gonna perform when he doesn't have Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen and Chase Young beside him. And he said, in retrospect, maybe those guys were performing at the levels they were because Montez Sweat was with them. Nobody considered that, And I said, you know what? Yeah, that's like a really good point. The dude he's been really, really good, and Ryan obviously saw something that would immediately create opportunity for an entire defense. And you see the numbers, the takeaways, they were wherever they were, and now it's just like through the roof. Interception totals way up. You
leading the league, right? In picks.
Jervon Dexter suddenly, playing a different brand of football, and so like, man, that like, to your point, like huge after a massive whiff on the Claypool trade, like massive, as big of a whiff as you're going to get. And credit to him also for just like not trying to continue to force that issue, for being like, this dude can't stay here. He's a headache every day. This is annoying for everyone. It's, consuming fuel that we do not need to have consumed. And addition by subtraction there for sure. And oh boy, by the way, what has Chase Claypool done in Miami? Next to nothing. And like,
dropped a touchdown last week.
Good luck, finding anyone else that's gonna extend your career. That's a sad career arc after where he was as a young player.
He's gonna be an Argonaut. He's going back home.
There you go. But Sweat, man, like, just you've got him signed through 27 now.
Yeah.
Like, ride it as long as it'll take you, and obviously hope that he continues to bring the best out of the young.
Get him a running mate in the draft.
Sure, 100%. Yeah.
Well, we kept you a long time tonight.
Part of it is my fault because I kept freezing.
Yes, that's what I want to tell you.
We're actually buying your son time. He wanted to finish his Fortnite game, so he's like, "Keep my dad busy." I'm not.
I think he was watching Dude Perfect on
there you go. Well, Dan Wiederer. I mean, guy comes in here, brings it. I know a lot of people turned around their opinion on you when you come here. Honestly,
that was the very first comment before the show started. Was I was never a Dan fan, but his last appearance on TTNL turned me.
That's why I come on annually. It's like an image restoration tour.
You got to talk to your partner, David Haw, so we can get him on here. We've never had him on here.
Has he declined?
No,
I don't think we reached out
to him
officially.
All right, I'll push him on that.
Cap was supposed to talk to him too, but then Cap and him obviously work at different places, but he was going to reach out to him. But I'm going to reach through you. I have a habit of putting people on the spot. I'm sorry, Dan.
I'm happy to do it. I like to be put on the spot.
Well, we love putting you on our spot on our show.
Well, be
you
careful.
Bring it. No. No, seriously, man. I really enjoy the man and the person you are. You do a great job staying truthful to what you see and feel. And that is so important. I don't see Dan Wiederer flip-flopping without a reason and a rational.
You don't agree with me. It's your stupid narrative. That's the shit that drives me nuts. Oh, yeah, exactly. Your narrative. Yep. That's what I'm concerned about.
It's a really good time having you on here, man.
I'm coming to the end of my 11th season on this beat, and I haven't taken maybe a couple of days I've taken for granted, but I haven't taken for granted how passionate this city is about its football team, and I wouldn't want it any other way. I like some days I wanted it a couple different ways, just to shut the fuck up and let me do my job. But I'm appreciative of what I get to do for a living, and the chance to talk about it's fun.
Is there any stadium news at all? Is there any nugget?
I mean, look, I think it's just, there's a political holding pattern, and I mean, there's nothing that is pushing me off the idea that thing will be in Arlington Heights, at the latest 2028.
Dan hasn't been in too many carnivals in the last 11 years.
That's the crisis of carnival, you know how it is.
2028's right when we'll be extending Caleb Williams. So
2024 could be a carnival for us. I mean, in a lot of different ways.
Damn right.
And like, it's crazy. My wife said to me the other day, she said, you know, this is great. Your season's about to end. I said, get ready because the offseason is going to be twice as busy. This is going to be different this year.
Is your wife named Claudia by any chance?
Yeah, because Claudio, our guy behind the scenes, our first year that the last game of the season, he's like, well, guys, that was a fun year. We'll see you in September. And I'm like, oh, it don't work that way, bro. We're just getting started.
No, and this year more than any is going to be just full of it. So,
oh, you're the best, Dan. Read them, listen to them on 1.5 speed, whatever you got to do. Dan Wiederer of the Chicago Tribune, thank you so much for your time. Happy New Year. All the best. Hopefully it is a carnival.
Yeah, that's right.
And we're all paying the price of admission.
Absolutely. Perfect. Always. Yeah. Longer this time because the quarterbacks don't talk till late in the week.
Yeah. Perfect. We'll be the Ryan Poles show once again, I'm sure, up there.
Let's get you on during the draft. That would be cool to have your thoughts.
This year might be difficult.
It might be a little bit difficult, but
no, I'm talking like leading up to the
Yeah.
draft. That's
Happy
right.
to do it.
We haven't had you.
Let's do it.
All right. God bless you, man.
Happy New Year,
fellas. Thanks, man.
Happy New Year.
See ya.
There he was, Dan Wiederer.
Good stuff.
Stayed on.
Yeah.
Great stuff, Sheree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Sheree? What do you think of that?
Well, I know a lot of people don't like Dan. I am a Dan Wiederer fan. I know he says some things that, we don't always agree with, but I do. He, especially this time, like he was making some very valid points. One thing I like that he talked about is like the fans aren't considering future. They're just looking at when we talk about Justin Fields' contract, that they're only looking at next year. Whereas Caleb Williams could be the long-term solution, but it's worth taking a chance on it. So
yeah, and I was the same. I think it was Bullets that put the original comment in there that he wasn't a Dan fan initially. And I think it's easy to fall into that because I know I 100% did. I'd listen to Dan and he would irritate me and I'd be
converted.
and I'd be like, oh, Jesus. But then when I was going through everything with my son, Dan actually lost his dad to cancer. And when I was going through everything with Riley, Dan hit me up on Twitter and actually gave me some great info and some great advice on how to deal with it. And I'm like, wow, that's, remove football and remove the toxic nature of, social media. He didn't have to take the 5 minutes out of his day to do that. So I found that was the day that I had my newfound respect for Dan Wiederer 100%. Cause I know I told him, I said, Dan, you lost your dad, but I said, your dad's fight helped my son beat his. So that's a big deal to me.
Nice stuff. Carrie Franklin, $10. T3P showed up in the Adam Ranks chat. So Franklin showed up to defend his shit talking about TTNL.
That's the only way T3P gets.
Dude,
he should just take the 3 out and call it TP. It's like toilet paper, right?
It's the TP podcast. Oh my God. I have an open invitation to TP3 or T3P.
I gave him my Twitter account. You go to TTNL. So listen, do you want to announce this, Phil? You and I talked about this.
Yes, let's announce it.
We are going to do, and Sheree, you're going to be the Vanna White moderator that night.
Yes,
for us.
You're the moderator.
Yep. So you got to get all did up. You got to do your hair. You got to wear a dress.
Speed
I'm
date.
sorry, what?
Yeah.
Like speed date.
So we are going to get 3 patrons on the demanding to keep Justin Fields side of the fence.
Yep.
And then we're going to get 3 other patrons that are it's time to move on. We need change. Reset the financial clock, that are ready to defend the other side. And we're going to have an open
Shane and I are going to ask questions.
Steel cage death match where you can put your nuts on the line and put your
balls.
face on video. And then Phil and I can go into the comments on YouTube the next morning and be like, what a dumbass.
I love all.
So we are going to set that up. We maybe even do a 1.0 version and a 2.0 version to bring on more people because it's a long off season. But we're going to let people put their voices out there, and you have to take.
It needs to be done. It needs to be done. I love all these. I'm going to put up a super chats. We're getting to you right now, Carrie Franklin. I have a special shout out for that guy. He
absolutely
has helped my family. We've been going through a lot. Carrie has reached out to us, prayers, and just supportive in so many ways. So thank you, Carrie. Mohammed Elmi, $1.99 on the side of the road, pizza in hand. He's going to the Steelers. Not getting traded to the NFC. He's talking about Justin Fields. Dante.
Sorry, I wanted to put that up.
The TTNL Royal Rumble. We can have Alex Acevedo.
Sounds like a t-shirt, Acevedo. What do you think?
Acevedo, you don't get in gun to get one. That t-shirt needs to come out for TTNL. Get on it. And then TTNL Royal Rumble. They have to wear those t-shirts when they come on.
Can we get a Washington Huskies national champs shirt made up? Jesus.
No.
Acevedo.
No. Do the Bears have a top 5 secondary in the NFL?
They have the potential to be there, but I need to see them do it.
Eddie's long in the tooth. He's a weakness waiting to happen on Sunday. That's all I'm saying. Yazer Ahmed, 490. Anybody watched the QB school breakdown on Justin versus Devon? He did a great breakdown all the way down to the technicalities, missed easy throws.
Yep.
I don't watch that because I do my own tape breakdown on this network. But thank you for your support.
JT was not very complimentary.
Is he a hater too?
No, he
nuked showing tape.
He nuked Justin for the sack towards the end of the game where he just held the ball and
don't even know what he's doing.
Could have gotten easily hurt, and he fumbled.
How many has he fumbled every game now?
I think it's
38 out of 39.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was
something like that. Jesus Christ. Chris R, 499. Were the tampering rules for agreeing to a deal with Harbaugh and going through the motions with the Rooney rule? Well, he hasn't been hired yet. So
yeah, I mean,
no one knows.
Yeah.
I don't think I know Feinbaum has come out and said he'll be leaving.
What are the tampering rules for?
I have no.
What are?
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, if
you have to interview several people of color, how you do that, we don't know.
I don't know if it's several, but it's a minimum. You have to at least interview one, right?
Don't play that game. You got to do the interviews. You got to take your due diligence. This isn't going to be Tuesday. They hired Jim Harbaugh. If that happened, I think I disagree with Dan.
He hired Don Yee, the agent, for a reason.
He's going to the NFL.
Yeah.
He's getting out of the.
May not be Chicago. It may not be in Chicago. What do they have? What did they say they have? Does Michigan? Sure, you would know this better than I, but it seems like I heard today they have 45 seniors on the roster.
Oh, I don't know that.
Yeah, I think that's what they said. So there's going to be, massive turnover, and
I do know there are some seniors that because of the COVID year they can opt to do the extra year, but I don't know I don't know the count off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think
John Madden's grandson is on Michigan as a walk-on, and he was talking about how it was surreal because that's where Coach Madden won the Super Bowl.
Do you remember who John Madden was drafted by in the NFL?
Hold on.
Sheree, do you have any idea?
Was it Baltimore?
I definitely wouldn't know that.
I can give you a guess and it'll give it away. I'm surprised nobody in the chat has it yet. I hate this fucking team with a passion.
Oh, Philly.
The Eagles?
Yeah, he was an Eagle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Muhammad Elmi, $1.99. Hypothetical. What if he does take a discount?
Come on, Muhammad. That's like you agreeing to buy a pizza with no cheese on it. It ain't fucking happening, bro.
I got you, Phil. $105. Brian.
Go look up his contract. Go look up his
I appreciate
agent,
you, Brian.
David Mulata. It's not happening. And of course, where did that go?
Oh, you hit
Eric Lambert. Of course, Eric Lambert would say that.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Of course, Eric Lambert would
chalk up another L for Eric because it ain't happening.
Dalton, Spain, our guy, $4.99. This game this week is a big game for the quarterback and the head coach. Neither have beat Green Bay. I hate to say it. I don't think they're going to win this week. I hate to say that. Yeah, we're coming up with our predictions coming up here, Dalton.
Oh, speaking of that, I don't know if you guys saw that, and I put it in the private chat. The last time we swept Green Bay was 2007.
I did see that.
Yeah, I put it up during the interview, but 2007. Let me do the math on that. So 7 plus 3, that brings us to 2010. So that's 3 plus 10 brings us to 20. That's 13. 16 years. Going to be 17 because it's 2024 now, actually. 16 or 17 years, depending on how you lay the math. A leader doesn't sit out the bowl game. That goes for Harrison Jr., too.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Now.
It's a different game now, man. I don't like that they sit out, but it's completely pathetic how
if they were playing for a national championship, if they were
he
in the
would be
playoffs,
there.
he'd be in there. I mean, the quarterback for Notre Dame, what's his name? That opted out. Fuck is his name? The kid with all the hair.
Oh, Sam.
Yeah.
Sam.
Yeah. I mean,
the Notre Dame quarterback.
Yeah, you think he wanted to Sam Hartman? Yeah, you think
Dan Hartman.
Oh man, you know, Tony the Tiger Bowls are what dreams are made of. Oh, come on, you know that's why.
But like Phil say, a lot of those bowl games are just exhibition games. So why put yourself at risk?
Exactly. Would you put yourself in that position if it was your son and he had a chance to go, to be a first or second or third round draft pick in the NFL, and you're playing in the friggin',
the
vanilla
Wiederer
ice cream bowl. You know what I mean? Who gives a shit? What is it? So
especially if a lot of your teammates have entered the portal and you're down, you don't need that. You've done enough. Don't try to make this about Caleb. This is the sign of the times. This next comment. The other two
laughable bullets.
Here's the new holistic company. So you think new holistic? What do you think?
Yeah.
Spirit,
meditation type stuff.
Meditation.
I actually blocked him earlier, so somebody must have favorited it.
Look at this clown boy. I mean, this is the kind of shit you're dealing with in this world. First of all, I don't even drink alcohol. That's the truth. This is some water right here. I know everyone else does. I mean, word is bond. I got you, punk. I can't wait to go to your holistic center. What does that look like? Machetes and fucking what are you doing in there?
His mom's on display there.
Oh my God. Like people like that. Gary Cadogan, $2. No more half measures. Pick a direction polls. Well, that's gonna happen. That's where we're backed up in the biggest direction and decision. I pray that he does the right thing. If Montez Sweat played for the Bears week 1, they would have made the playoffs.
You say, would they make the playoffs?
Oh, would they?
Mm-hmm.
I can't deal with this hypotheticals, man.
Right.
Especially in football. If he would have caught that touchdown pass, would if Rob, I know I'm aging myself, what was his name? Something Clark had dropped that pass against the 49ers, the Dallas Cowboys.
Javon Wims on third down in the playoffs.
If he would have caught that. There you go. That's
well, I mean, this is like the hypothetical that if we didn't have the double doink, we would have won the Super Bowl. Like
if Julius Peppers continued down and didn't go running into fullback Kuhn and just destroyed Aaron Rodgers, there'd be no Chris Conte. Lance Briggs play. We'd have won and been in the playoffs. We've had a lot of moments losing to the Green Bay Packers. And it's time. It's time. Thank you, Cyro. Dwight Clark. That's where I was going, too. Dwight Clark.
Oh, you said Clark. I was defaulting to Dez.
Dwight Clark. I was thinking against the Cowboys. The catch. What if he dropped the catch? What if Cherie's boy, Wilson, would have dropped that catch that he made? What a fucking catch that was, Shane.
That was
sorry.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
The spiral tipping off the kid's hand and still staying into a spiral.
Yeah, the horseshoe that Notre Dame doesn't have up their ass in the past 40 years was in Michigan's on that catch.
I'm sorry. We have to get Jim Harbaugh in Chicago for all the reasons Dan says that makes them nervous. My God, why is this so hard? Fuck. Bernard Varner is a POS.
Definitely not mad at all, Bullets. You can ask Cherie about that. I was very cordial about it.
Has been. That's why I'm not picking on him.
The best team won. I just don't buy the fact that
First of all, Bullets was cheering against the fucking Michigan too. Exactly.
Oh yeah, but he
For whatever reason,
he's doing it in private. He's sitting at home watching Notre Dame.
He had the text. I guarantee you, on his phone, ready to hit send, praying that he didn't have to fucking hit delete. He had it ready to go because
he had a text either for me or for you. He just didn't know
exactly. By end of the fucking day, he's still a fucking overrated, trash ass Notre Dame fan.
Kareem, you have been so active tonight of up and down hate. I don't think you ever understand that Caleb has no hatred towards the Bears whatsoever.
Kareem,
he doesn't want to own the team.
Yeah, that's been proven false.
It's completely dumb.
But it fits Kareem's narrative, right,
it's
Kareem?
So bad, Kareem. Come on, man.
Oh, now I see a negative comment coming for me in the chat from Kareem.
Yes. It's okay. We'll be live on Bears Hour Live right after Green Bay versus Chicago to end the season. The Bears could knock the Packers out of the playoffs. We've been down this road before. Lovie Smith, you remember him? Could have knocked them out. They lost. The Packers end up going into the playoffs as the last seed and go to the Super Bowl. Thank you, Lovie. You were great.
Thanks, Logan. Maybe you guys can win the Tide Bowl next year. That'd be an upgrade from the Tony the Tiger Bowl. Play like a champion today. That's worked out well 40 years ago.
Is he still
keep Mitch?
Is he still a Mitch Trubisky fan, my boy Logan? Is he still saying that? Good night, Kareem. We appreciate you, bro.
I can't even believe we let Cherie talk. We didn't even let our Cherie talk tonight. Remember that comment? Who was that dude? Y'all didn't even let your guest talk tonight.
The guest isn't talking. Let her say something.
Oh man, I still am. I always will be. I don't know what Dom, my boy Dom.
The Packers.
I don't know what my boy Dom is talking about, but I know.
What did he say?
Tremaine Edmonds has stepped up and been a really amazing linebacker. Logan. Has TJ Edwards.
Tremaine is trash, right?
I still remember Tremaine is trash.
Yeah.
Oh, he's still a Mitch fan. At least he's admitting it.
Oh God. Just like Mitch the person or Mitch the quarterback?
Greg Braggs has still got his Mitch Trubisky tattoo.
Corey Wooten put him on blast today.
Really?
Yeah, because he's flip-flopping. He's all over the map and doesn't want.
Oh, he's calling him out for flipping?
Oh, yeah. I'm a bricklayer. Let me ask my brick what my brick thinks. Brick, what should I do? Who should I? Oh, Jenny, you're making my dinner. What should the Bears do so I can tell my fans?
That's what Wooten did?
Yeah, it's a whole
He was
clip.
imitating him?
Yeah, for like 3
you?
minutes. Yeah.
Wow. We got to get Wooten on now. I have more respect.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
Pull it up, please.
Yeah, it was on CHGO.
I still remember Corey Wooten ending Brett Favre. Exactly, Bob. Corey Wooten ending Favre.
Yeah.
Where was that game played, Cherie? Can you remember?
Why do y'all think my memory is good? No. I don't have the recall that you guys have.
Who remembers?
I'm quick on Google, though.
Played? Don't do Google. Who remembers where Corey Wooten ended? My guy, Brett Favre's. There he is.
Yeah, University of Minnesota.
Got it right. That was a trick question.
Johnny
they were
Knox
building their
touchdown
stadium
game.
thanks to Kevin Warren. It was at the University of Minnesota, outside in the snow. Corey Wooten. Speaking of Corey Wooten, we're getting it booted up, Cherie.
Booted up. Hold on.
He's imitating Greg's voice and everything.
You wait. Yeah. Here, let me back it up, and here we go.
But back to you though, flip flopper. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I should ask my wife. She makes all my decisions for anything else. Hey, hon, what do you think? We should keep Justin Fields or not? Yeah, we should. Okay, I'm gonna keep him. Justin Fields is. Hold on, let me get on Twitter. Justin Fields is the guy going forward, and yeah, I said it. Marvin Harrison Jr. Fields we trust. And they go, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna pick now. Caleb Williams seems like a good option. Drake May. Oh my God!
He's not done.
Pick a side, bro. Right now, what do you want to do? Don't go back and forth. What is your heart telling you? What are you feeling right now? I don't care. You don't want to look bad and all this. Stick to your guns. What is it now? You got to
Purdue basketball, baby. I'm sorry. That was great, bro.
Oh, he ain't done.
There's more?
You sound like the Notebook. I don't know. I don't know. It's not that simple. I used to be a bricklayer. Maybe I should get some bricks. Bricks? What should I do? Come on.
40 seconds, still 40 seconds left.
Oh man, I'm trying to stand on business. I don't know. I don't know. And it's not that I want to get it wrong. I don't care if what I say is right or wrong. I say plenty of dumb shit on our shows. I just want
But
Ryan
you got to
Poles.
make a decision right now. You keep
Poles
Fields or
to
you
get it
don't.
right. I want Ryan Poles to get it right. And I said on today's show, I don't know what the right answer is. It's
Can you be a man? Can you man up? Can come on. Come on. Can you you man up?
All right. I'm gonna man up. God dang it.
Oh my God.
I told you.
Holy shit, Greg. I love Greg, but Corey Wooten pulling a Shane and Phil. I got to give him credit, man.
He deserved that.
Corey Wooten, I have some newfound respect for your ball.
I got
breaking.
like 4 or 5 DMs the night Greg was on, and they're like, hey, did Cherie really show up real quick and leave just because Greg was on the show? And I'm like, oh, yeah, she did.
It was like, hey, guys. Then she noticed Greg.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Fuck this.
And all of a sudden, she was just gone.
Fuck this white boy. That's all I heard her say, that she fucking signed up.
Corey Wooten has to come on now. 100%, Alex. Yeah. Corey, we are reaching out to you. Chris Jack will get that going. And we'll call Greg and get it. He'll extend that olive. That was great. That was funny. What isn't funny is the end of the season and another end of the show.
Yeah,
we had a great time.
Just
Shane.
go around real quick and do the predictions, and then let's get the fuck out of here. We don't even need shout outs.
No shout outs?
Yeah, they're fine. Okay. I'm fucking tired.
You deserve a break, bro. You definitely do.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe y'all should take a note from Claudio's book and take
Phil and I are actually, we booked a cruise together. We're going on a cruise.
The 9-month one? Did you see that?
Yeah, the 9-month. We're like, fuck those kids. We're going on the cruise. TTNL cruise. We're gonna broadcast live. I did see that 9-month cruise. That would be pretty crazy.
That's crazy.
There's like so much drama on that 9-month cruise.
Yeah.
The people who paid for 9 months are getting the great views and all the upper equities of everything, and the people that paid for like 1 month are getting the shit end. So now there's fighting going on this cruise, and there's all this drama apparently. Anyway, bold predictions. Where's the song? Just 2 seconds of it I was gonna play. I can't. There it is.
I mean, if I'm gonna root for a team, I want to give it all I got.
Next play. Pass.
There was no rhyme or reason.
Drove down the field. Mr. Montgomery breaks a huge run. If he scores on the run, you don't gotta worry. But you do gotta worry because he gets tackled at the freaking 15.
There was no rhyme or reason.
Next play. Shotgun.
Bold prediction, Sheree. Your favorite song. I had to play it for you.
I have a feeling it's going to be 1 for 3.
1 for 3.
Yeah, Sheree's riding the high of the Michigan win. So I think
No.
she's going to be the sole.
Bears 28-13 says
No.
Mike V.
I know the separation of the teams.
All right.
Okay. Logan's apparently doesn't. 87-7.
-7.
-7. How'd that happen? DeLeon Wheeler 27-17. What do you say, Cherie?
I think it's gonna be closer than we think. So I say 27-24 Packers though.
27-24 Green Bay
walk-off
Packers.
field goal.
Oh no, they're probably gonna score a touchdown like early in the fourth quarter. And we're gonna scramble to get up to 24.
Can't wait for our comments tomorrow on YouTube. You guys picked the Bears to lose. You guys are fucking racist.
Oh jeez.
Wait, we must hate Jordan Love too.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. That's how it goes.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I'm going 31-20 Green Bay.
31-20 Green Bay.
Yep. Until they listen, I want Chicago to win in the worst way. I think the momentum into the offseason would prove huge for all of the young players on the team. I think it's really, really important. Tony Dungy talked about that when he was down in Tampa with the team. He's like, we weren't very good, and then we started to get some players, and we closed out a season, on a huge positive note. And he's like, we maintained that, and it was huge for everybody in the organization moving forward. But I've just been burned way too many times where you like, oh, this is going to be the one. This is going to be it. This is our shot. We did this in week 1 where they had the whole offseason to be prepared. And Jordan Love came out and punched you right in the fucking face. So
look at that. Shane, 31-20, you said?
31-20, Green Bay. Yep.
I am gonna make Shane correct. I'm picking the Chicago Bears, baby. 24-20.
Right. Now let's keep things truthful and let's tell us why, Phil.
I'm picking the Bears
because I know the little evil dark magic you have going on.
Every time I pick them to either lose or win against Green Bay, they do the opposite. So I'm going to play. They're going to win to try to break that streak. That's my.
He's doing the
reverse psychology.
The double reverse.
I'm doing the double reverse.
Yeah, he's
doing the George Costanza opposite day.
He's handing off to Cairo Santos on a
24
on a reverse.
Tyler Scott push, brother push, whatever, tush push. Gonna do it. No, my Montez Sweat strip sack. One of the big uns. I'm gonna either say Walker,
congrats,
Dexter.
I don't think he did. Oh, he didn't win our league.
Walker or Dexter or Billings are picking up the sack, fumble, and defensive tackle score.
Because I know they were broken out into division, so maybe I don't know if he won his division, but
pay attention to my bold prediction, not to Logan's stupid declaration.
I mean, I won one of my fantasy leagues, not the TTNL one, but I won another one.
Did you see that picture of the moon with the face next to it? Did you guys see that shit?
If you're coming to, you better be getting loud.
Sheree.
27-19 Cuthbert Willie 24-17 Bear. I said
Michigan gonna win 31-24.
Oh, she's going out on a limb.
That's what I was going to ask you next.
McLaughlin's going to have 11 bad snaps.
Mike Williams.
That's the special teams. It's stressful.
Eric Thomas. 24-20, I'm predicting. And strip sack and big man touchdown. big man touchdown. One of the defensive linemen, other than Sweat, picks it up and runs it in for the Bears.
We need that to be Mr. Dexter. Give him some positive.
That's what I honestly see him doing it. Here we go. Bears 17-14. So hopefully the Chicago Bears can do this. Do one thing. Can you beat the fucking Packers? What does he say?
Green Bay 31
28-10.
The Bears blow.
Oh my God.
Oh, Jesus.
I hope not.
Thanks, Bob.
Why are you such a fanboy?
Yeah. That's been my word of the week in the YouTube comments and my responses. Fanboy. I've used that quite often.
That is. I am excited to see Adam Rank called a touchdown for Tyler Scott. He should have had one this past weekend. I'll say that. But we will see. Shout out to Adam Rank. I was on his show tonight with Carmen, and he had Tyler Scott on before. It was a great time. I love Adam. So thank you for having me on the show. Shout out, one other shout out, since we're not doing shout outs, to Mel Baru. Her and her son, Jeff, who's 12. They watch us all the time, Shane. They love the show. And
what's their names?
Mel. I can't. Baru. Bahrou.
Bahro.
That's pretty close.
Yeah.
Bahroou.
It's not like, what was the name that you fucking butchered?
No.
We found out after the show that Phil's met the kid and met him. You know,
Declan,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Larison's like, you fucking met this kid, Phil.
What you call him? Declan?
Declan Petiti, yeah. Yeah.
He had the French name.
Like, what the fuck?
Declan
Petiti.
Lost the plane.
So Mark Potash just sent out a tweet. Yeah. Bears GM Ryan Poles has traded more Pro Bowl players, Roquan Smith and Khalil Mack, than he has acquired. Montez Sweat. Great.
Oh my God. Well, DJ Moore should be a Pro Bowler. Come on. The other guy that deserves to be in the Pro Bowl is TJ Edwards.
Name two better trades in the past year than acquiring Montez Sweat and DJ Moore.
Khalil Mack is up there.
No. Within the past year, I said.
Oh, the past year. No.
You talking about for like any other team?
I mean, I don't even think it's
impact wise. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Aaron Rodgers only lasted a few minutes, bro.
Yeah, Mike's got it right here. See, you are racist, Phil. You're talking about Declan.
Oh, Jesus. How many sacks has Chase Young gotten at San Francisco? How is he done? And
well, as of right now, Montez Sweat is the leading sack man for two teams. Yeah,
that was
the first time in NFL history that's done.
Now, what has Chase Young done? I know he's been pretty good there, but he's not Montez Sweat.
He's got what? That ain't right. Just a minute.
Today is the last day, according to the great Larry David, who I can't wait.
Yeah, Adam Schefter tweeted that out this morning early.
Did he?
Yeah.
There's a rule. I've been watching Seinfeld. Just watching it on Netflix. I fall asleep.
Young's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
George throwing out fun stats.
What week did he get traded? Do we remember what that was?
The same day.
Yeah, I know, but what week was that? It was like Halloween, right?
October 30, yeah.
So it was around week 12, maybe?
Yeah.
So he has had one sack.
2.5.
He's had
George is saying 2.5.
Oh, really? So that would be. Oh, okay.
Well,
yeah.
We had a lot of
So that would
people
put him to
tonight.
week 10 when he got traded.
Please smash the like button. Tomorrow, if you're a patron, I'll be live breaking down the tape, sitting there live, breaking it down with you. You have any questions about Justin Fields or the offense? They will be answered, as you could see a little taste of it tonight. Break it down tomorrow. Then Cars Keys tomorrow night.
Yeah, we're scheduled to start at 8:30. I have to pick up my son from basketball practice at 8. It's about a 27-minute drive in decent traffic on the way home. So if we're a couple of minutes late on start time, don't lose your shit. Just blame it on Cars. It's not my fault.
Well, blame it on Cars.
Yep, it's Cars' fault.
We will be breaking, those of you asking, yes, I'm going to break down the Caleb Williams tape.
We don't break down college tape during the NFL season.
We've never done it. We've never done it because it just takes away.
Y'all go with tradition.
Yeah.
And
Jeez,
Bill Wagner
so
bringing a tradition. $10. Happy
Right.
New Year, TTNL family. Let's make 2024 the year of the bear.
And if
I said it to rhyme.
if you want to be in on the quarterback roundtable, you got to pick a side, scan that QR code, go over, become a patron.
$25 super chat will get you in right now. Go.
$2,500 super chat. Sheree says, "Mama's got to put in a new dining room table, right, Sheree?"
I have the tape of Jaden Daniels, the tape of Derek May, the tape.
Derek May, who's that?
I meant
Drake May.
Drake May. Derek's my friend down the street.
Yeah. He'll call you right back, Phil. He's kind of emotional right now.
Oh my God. I'm gonna have to tell that story next week. But Derek May and Penix Jr. tape will be
size
the first
11
thing we
hands,
do.
Sheree. That should put the fear
First
of
thing we do in the
touchdown
off
Jesus
season.
into you.
Breaking down the quarterback.
McCarthy tape.
For
I don't
what?
know if he declares.
I don't
We'll
know if
have
he's
to.
gonna
Yes,
He shouldn't.
I think he should stay.
Me too.
Give him another year.
He's still only 20 years
Still
old.
20. He's got so
But
much
I get it if they're
upside.
he loses his head coach and
But maybe the OC
massive
stays
turnover.
there as the head coach.
Still.
Sharon, yeah, I like
Sharon.
him.
When he ever said the F words, and I'm like, this guy is a must hire. The George McCaskey's like, never.
What's his
Can't
name
have
again?
that
What's
guy.
the OC's name?
Sharon.
Yeah, but what's the first name?
That's his first name. His
First
last name
name.
Moore.
What's his last?
Moore. Sharon Moore.
Sharon Moore. Okay.
Yes. Sharon. Better shit in your hat. Get the hell off the field. Coach O is coming back for the draft talk. And his favorite quarterback, Jaden Daniels. The big fan. All right, guys. We did it all. Claudio, shout out to Claudia to leave. And
His battery was running out.
Battery ran out.
Computer is gonna die. Can't find a charger. Fuck you guys,
AKA,
I'm out of here. It says.
I'm fucking tired, and I came up with this excuse.
Yes. My wife is sitting next to me, and she's giving me the dirty eye.
A foot rub?
Yeah, the dirty eye. So.
Nope.
No, that's me. No. Yeah, mine's sitting right over there too. Oh, wait, no.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Of course, Bears Hour Live right after Bears Packers this Sunday. They are playing at 3:25, 4:25.
Yeah.
Thank you, NFL, for that. It's Shane and I's favorite.
No, it's not.
I hate those late games.
4:25. Oh my God. But we'll see you there for the smartest man and the sweetest lady in TTNL.
I'm not smart.
I'm your guy, Draft Dr. Phil. We'll see you guys next time on Keep It at 100. Next week, we got Adam Rank coming on our show.
Got to get my Dodgers jersey ready.
Who's the coach? Who's the quarterback? Adam Rank's love for the Bears will be on full display. We'll see you guys next time.
What's up, everybody? This is NFL Network's Adam Rank.
This is Only Crew.
This is Matt Waldman.
This is Chris Zork from your Chicago Bears.
I'm Deion Miller.
Dan Wiederer.
Hey, my name is Rashawn Whitfield.
I'm Courtney Cronin.
Hey, this is David Kaplan. Listen to me. You want to learn football? Listen to my guys, Phil and Shane.
Shane and Phil. Shane and Phil. Oh, Phil.
On the Tape Never Lies Network.
On the Tape Never Lies Network.
Tape Never Lies Network.
The Tape Never Lies Network.
Tape Never Lies Network, home of the greatest Chicago Bears fans on earth.
Oh my fucking God. Your lunch with Mary.